we are having a new, different generation, what can we do differently, to make sure that, people are not affected? And that was the whole topic, which is in the 50s, in the 60s, and what happened in the new era. Also, they talked about our communities then put together, saving money, and then making sure that, they can be able to buy properties. Now we have, a segment on that on our platform here on the Star Radio UK, where we talked about, buying properties. But then it was very, very difficult because you literally will not be able to buy property. You just have to, pull the string together with your loved ones before you are enabled to buy property as at the time. Like I said, we will pick on one or two things that was said, during that event when I get that, line up. But let's come back, because in Rivers State, it seems that finally maybe there might be calmness as the President Bola Tinubu has literally intervened in the river situation. And when I have the lineup of the, what the speaker said yesterday, I will come back to you quickly, Mr. Archie.
Well, listeners, Mr. Koiki, bringing you a bit of a sneak view of what happened at the Rivers meeting that he attended last night. But now we're coming home to some of the substantive issue that is going on in Nigeria. The Rivers State crisis has been going on, but Tinubu's aide has said that political problems are not solved with emotions. Let me just bring a sneak view of that. He said that during a meeting with the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, Governor Shimana Layi Fubara of Rivers State, former Governor Peter Odili, and some other stakeholders held at the State House in Abuja. After the meeting held in the State House in Abuja, which lasted for about 3 hours, 8 resolutions were reached to solve the political tensions in the South State. Now, reacting to the development in the post via X handle on Tuesday, Olusegun said political crisis in Rivers State required a political solution, which Tinubu has provided. Well, he said they were using their emotions, but he said the president has given his wisdom there. Yomi, tell us more.
Well, some are concerned, some are hoping that it's not a trap for, Fubaru, the current governor in that state. And the reason for that is, when it comes to Nigeria, there's so many, stakeholders, and sometimes they might also be playing, the mind game. Wike, just like Tinubu, Tinubu known as Jagaban, remember, held on to Lagos State for a very long time, and he also had clashes, with the former governor as at the time, Ambode. He was able to resolve his own issues as at that time, but it seems that 27 lawmakers, as we speak this morning, will probably have to return back, to PDP. We're not too sure, but like I said, the issue in Rivers State has become so much tension that the president literally had to intervene to get things under control.
Okay, listeners, it is STARR Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. Don't you worry, if you can't see me, you can still see Mr. OLAYOMI Koiki. So it is good enough, isn't it? Okay, now we are going to be moving on. We're not happening now. So what has what has Wike said about that? Is he going to koto or adhere to what the president has said, or is still going to be pulling his strings?
Well, we know that he's now an employee working with the president. So in one way, whether he would accept it or not. But like I said, there's a lot of reaction to these particular events, especially as many people continue to monitor, what is happening in Rivers State. Rivers State is also one of those states that has good amount of, money when it comes to, the state, the revenue, sharing is very, very good. I mean, in terms of, what they're making out of it as well. Let's pick on, the reaction so far from what is being said. According to a handle which we cannot confirm, I can authoritatively confirm to you all that this is so-called agreement between Wike, Governor Sim Fubara, that is circulating in the media is fake. Governor Sim Fubaru never signed such agreement and will never do. It was a planned handwork of Shetima, the vice president, and also Wike himself, and likewise Femi Gbajabiamila. So the question is, as much as we are reporting this morning about these particular events, well, could it be that even the president probably have some meeting, or maybe there was no resolution, and Wike and Gbajabiamila decided to do what a U.S. businessman did, which we're going to be talking about, is now being picked up by the U.S., for fraudulent financial bank statement. So we know that everything in Nigeria sometimes is fake. Even the making of Nigeria itself in 1914 is fake. So it seems that 21st century, maybe, we are not too sure. Maybe this is not a signature coming from the governor of Rivers State. Well, we'll have to wait for him to confirm that himself, that he has nothing to do with this arrangement. But like I said, we've not picked up anything so far, but maybe before the end of this program, we might. But let me come back again to you in the studio again while we're working on the image of these three individuals that we're talking about, this morning as well.
Yeah, listeners, STARR Radio UK. Updates from Nigeria with Mr. OLAYOMI Koiki in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios, and we are bringing you everything that you got to know. Okay, so whilst he's trying to put the images of these three individuals who have allegedly gone for the meeting, but let's talk about the River State a bit. Now, how developed is the River State? For those of us who have not been to that part of the world before, and those of us listening who have not been to Nigeria, or how is the River State? Is it well developed? I know there is a place in Ghana where it's like the biggest mines. That is in Akwetia, in Ashanti region. And you go there, and you look at the roads, and it's deplorable. And I look at it and I said, so do we mine gold from this place? And what amenities? How is the community actually benefiting from it? Do you mean to say that the River State, you're saying they chunk out lots of money because of the crude oil, of course. How well developed is the place?
Well, River State, as we can confirm this morning, also known as Rivers, is a state in the Niger Delta region of the southern Nigeria. It was actually formed in 1967. That's just about 7 years after, the independence, when it was split from what is called the former Eastern region. These are always the problem again, in 1884, we had the Congo Conference, also known as the Berlin Conference, where, 7 to 8 European countries decided to split Africa, and decided to scramble around it. And also we saw how after, 1967 was almost the time where the Biafra War was also being engaged powerfully between, Nigeria and the Biafrans. So we used to call the Eastern region, the Western region, and the Northern region. But as we went further, more states were bricked, and then more states were also, encroached. And then eventually, River State borders also Imo State. You're talking about, the kind of what is coming out of it. As we can tell you, it's very, very oil rich. And that means that the interest of not just, the locals, but also the interest of the foreign partners that wants to make sure that they are having their own access to that particular part as well. River State borders include also Imo, Anambra to the north, Abia, and Akwa Ibom to the east, Bayelsa Delta to the west. The state capital is known as Port Harcourt. So if I talk about Port Harcourt, it also reminds us of the Sisoliso plane crash that took place, in 2005, about 18 years ago, when, things went failure. But again, you asked about development. When we talk about development in almost all the states in the country, we have 36 states. Well, not much, but I can tell you that when we look at the, which state has the highest IGR, we will talk about Lagos State, which is about almost 651.15 billion as of 2022. Then you will be talking about River State as well. River State also has good amount as well when it comes to the internal generated revenue as of 2021. But it's all about, the politicians, holding on to the power. Like I said, Wike is just one that was very lucky. He started as probably from the councillor and eventually became the governor, is now the minister. But it seems that he's still having his stake in the state just like Tinubu has actually hold on the strangle of many in the southwest, mostly Lagos State. So it seems that Tinubu is controlling the country, but he has never left Lagos State because the way it was set up was more of favorable to him. When we talk about tax collection, he actually used his own company to set up the tax collection, and that means for every time Lagos State is making money, money is also being made by President then as a governor. Even though he has left, he's still taking so much share from the Lagos State as well.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Africa.
It's called the Alpha Beta.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I see. Wow. Listeners, a bit of education for you. That's why we tell you that if you listen to STARR Radio UK, we don't just try to entertain you, but we bring you everything that you need to know when it comes to the stories, the background of it, and everything. So, well, we leave the River State debacle that is going on there, hoping that whatever agreement that have been signed is true and that the people alive are the ones who are going to benefit from it. I don't care about these big books. Whatever they do, they've made the monies already, but the common person in River State now is how is he benefiting from whatever is going on there? That is the issue. But listeners, it's STARR Radio UK. In our North Studios, Mr. OLAYOMI Koiki, I am Archie here, and we're bringing you updates from Nigeria. U.S. has charged Nigerian businessmen and firms with multi-million-dollar fraud. Now, yesterday we were talking about one professor who is a scientist who have been voted as virtually the top scientist in London University, is it University College at UCL? Now, and then now today we have another story coming in saying that the U.S. has charged a Nigerian business. So while some people are trying to fly a good flag, raising the flag and celebrating Nigeria, then others are also there doing all sorts. But how true is that story, Yomi?
Well, Nigerians are known for being, well educated, very hardworking. Like I said, towards the end of the program, I will bring you the snip of what one of the MBE that we met yesterday. And I'm going to be telling you a name as well because we can't get the name right now, but I'll tell you the name. Well, that is the individual that we're talking about this morning, and I'm going to be also telling you what we know so far surrounding these, headline coming. Again, this morning, the United States have decided that it is time that we charge a Nigerian businessman, his firms, with multi-million-dollar fraud. It's not the first time that fraud is coming up, when it comes to Nigeria. You remember Hush Puppy? He was living so large in Dubai that even many people wanted to look like him and be like him. Eventually, we realized that he's a fraudster that was siphoning so much money, from different individuals around the world. But this morning, the United States Security and Exchange Commission has said that Tingo Group lied about having $461.7 million in its subsidiary, Tingo Mobile's Nigerian bank account, when it had only $50 in its said account. I repeat that again. He actually lied. I'm talking about Tingo Group. I'm going to tell you a little bit about these, venture or whatever that was set up in Nigeria. And I'm just looking at what Tingo means. Tingo Group is a publicly traded fintech and agri-fintech conglomerate with operation in Africa, South Asia, and Middle East. Well, it was founded in 2002. It had its headquarters in Montville in New Jersey, United States, which is the reason why it's now been picked up. Well, the question then is, how come he has decided to say to the Security and Exchange Commission that they have $461.7 million in the subsidiary Tingo Mobile's Nigerian bank account when it had only $50 in the said account? Does that mean that documents were produced? Well, we know Oluwole was at the point, operating in Nigeria. I'm not too sure whether he's still operating, but we have now become so advanced that even, we saw INEC result was manipulated. Even some people say that, maybe that was something that Tinubu did as well because he couldn't, confirm. So it looks like when it comes to fraudulent document, it is something that occurs in Africa. It is also something that occurs around the world. But according to the SEC yesterday, when it announced charges against Mobusi Binye, also known as Dozie Mombusu, and 3 affiliated US-based entities, of which he is the Chief Executive Officer of Tingo Group, Agric Fintech Holdings, Tingo International Holdings. According to the commission, this individual is now being charged in connection with alleged multi-year scheme to inflate the financial performance metric of his companies and key operating subsidiary to defraud investors worldwide.
Well, yeah, $50, not even 50,000. Well, it's interesting, but you see, I look at this and I ask myself the questions. In Nigeria now, or in Ghana now, how many businesses actually have the money that they're saying that they have? Something that occurs. And getting big loans or big contracts from government and stuff like that. We're not able to do diligence in Nigeria now, as the Western world would do. Or is it that they were just picking up on him because he's a black person?
Yeah, I was actually getting my mic back on.
Listen, just bear with us.
Oh.
Yomi, we can't hear you.
Yeah, it's back on. Yeah, I was actually muted while you were speaking. Well, I mean, I don't think he was picked up because the black man, this was some of the things that we had discussed during the, the event yesterday. But if you've lied, surrounding your organization, your company, that definitely means that there's something that you also have at the back of the mind, because when some of these setup comes up, it also maybe they will need investor to invest in them, and they have to produce that they are capable, they have their own, probably their own setup fund as well. Let's go a little bit. According to the statement by the SEC complaint was filed on December 18, which is just this year, alleged that since at least 2019, these companies, individual that spearheaded a scheme was to fabricate financial statement, other document of the 3 entities and the Nigerian operating subsidiary, Tingo Mobile Limited, Tingo Food PLC. The complaint further alleged that Mobusi made and caused the entity to make material misrepresentation about their business's operation and the financial sources in a press release, periodically SEC filings and other public statements. For instance, Tingo Group fiscal year 2022, in March, reported a cash and cash equivalent balance of $461.7 million in its subsidiary Tingo Mobile Nigerian bank account. But in reality, those same bank accounts allegedly had a combined balance of less than $50 as of the end of the fiscal year 2022. So the question is, which part of the bank statement did he submit? Was it the one he produced, or was it the one from the bank? And like you think, when things like this happen, definitely America will have got in touch with the bank, and the bank actually released the original bank statement.
Wow. Okay. I've got about 1 billion pounds sitting in our accounts now. Who can tell me that I don't have it? Unless myself and OLAYOMI we know whether I have it or not. But wherever you are listening to us from, it is STARR Radio UK. It is your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London. We go back to Yomi for the rest of no, before them. The defense minister had restated federal government's commitment to welfare of military personnel. Now, with what happened in Kaduna few days ago, now we were thinking that the military hierarchy will be called to order and we'll see what happens from there. But it looks like that is not what is going to happen. And now we have a situation where they are saying that, well, they're going to be going on with whatever they have.
Well, you're quite right. The Minister of Defense, remember, we told you was in America, and he's returned back to Nigeria. Mohammed Badaru has also reiterated that the commitment of the federal government to the welfare and the well-being of the members of the armed forces of Nigeria. He gave this assurance yesterday while inaugurating the block of flat that was built to accommodate personnel of the National Defense College in the FCT area. This accommodation is very tangible. We've seen so much report coming back from the military, especially those that reach out to us. The way they're well fed is not even up to a very good standard, according to the international law. Also, we've seen that some of the reasons why some of them have been killed in the combat field is because they are not well equipped enough to fight back, the insurgency and the insecurity that has become very, very, alarming. As of yesterday, we talked about, 14-member crews, which I've got more details about those that were kidnapped yesterday because somebody reached out to us. As we speak this morning, the security hasn't done any much, to try to rescue them. These 14 individuals are still being held somewhere in Nigeria. So again, you will need a lot of intelligence gathering. If you're able to do that, then you can be able to pin down and resolve the insecurity. But if you are not taking care of your military, then there's also going to be danger, because we're also seeing military personnel, probably either borrowing or lending their rifle for exchange for money, and then criminals use that. Police use that a lot, in Nigeria, and there's a lot of confirmation to that. But this morning, it seems that the defense minister is saying almost as much as what we've had in 8 years of the failed government of the former President Muhammadu Buhari.
Now, it's interesting because we know they've been going on and on with security measures being put in place, reassuring people, especially now that we get into the Christmas and the New Year festivities, there's going to be lots of kidnappings and all insecurity issues going on there. Now, have they come out with everything? I mean, yes, the military made a mistake by whatever they saw, that they ended up killing these individuals, thinking that they were, whether they were insurgents or whatever it is. Okay, but the issue is, what measures have they put in place for these festivities for people to be reassured, especially those who are even traveling from here to that part of the world? What measures have they put in place for them?
Well, the measure is they have to first and foremost have the grab of the country. You talked about the measures. The measures is that making sure that Nigerians are up to date with what is happening. In terms of the when you see it, say it, sorted, which is what we do here in UK. Sometimes individuals that come in and buy large quantity of petrol in a petrol station, you got to flag it down quickly, where they're taking it to. But because Nigerians are busy with their lives, so sometimes even the country, the citizen itself, lose plot. We've seen these members of the Boko Haram that have come into the society, into the environment, they buy stuff, they take it back inside. This is where the intelligence is important. But sometimes when you give intelligence to security, you are likely to be affected because people will come back for you. So that means that everybody just keep mute. But here in UK, if I open my window, I can see something, I hear something, I'm not too sure, it's not very comfortable with me. The next thing is I call into the security. They might just come around and nothing happen. And sometimes they might be coming around and they might be saving those community here in the UK. But in Nigeria, like I said, you report crime to the security operatives, you are already a dead man. Because like Tiwa Danjuma said, Nigerians must rise up to defend themselves against the insurgency because the military are compromised.
Yeah, it's true. Well, that was a question. Whilst you were speaking, I was noting that because I was asking myself the question, how, if people are reporting, seeing something, see something, see it, say it, sort it. But you see it, that means, and you go and say it, they'll be coming after you because somebody in there who is compromised will say it was this one who reported that, and then so what?
And let me quickly give us again, those of us that might be traveling from UK, because we're reporting from here, according to the foreign, the FCDO, advise against all travels to part of Nigeria. This is the latest update. It is still current as we speak to you today. It was last updated on the 15th, which is just 10 days before the Christmas. This travel advice has been updated to reflect an expected period of civil disobedience in the southeast Nigeria. It has as if I can get this map out as well, and you can tell that with the map here, we'll hopefully upload it on our website on the Star Radio UK so that people can have an idea background to I mean, if you decide to travel to those regions, you got to take extra precaution. And that is the map right behind you there this morning that the FCDO, because we're coming to festive period, many people will start traveling from this weekend. And we're going to be talking about it more during the Niger Voices tomorrow as well. According to the Foreign and Commonwealth and Development Office, provide this advice about the risk, the British nationals to make informed decision. Areas where the FCDO advise against travel, your travel insurance could be invalidated if you travel against the FCDO advice. So even if you think that you have, insurance, that will be invalidated. This is what the FCDO is saying. The northeast of Nigeria, Borno State, Yobe, Adamawa State, Gombe State, the FCDO advise against but only essential travel. Bauchi, Taraba. To the northwest of Nigeria, the FCDO advised against travel to Kaduna State, Katsina State, Zamfara State. The FCDO advised against all but essential travel to Kano State, Jigawa State, Sokoto State, within 20 kilometers of the border with Niger Republic. Also to the north central, you must not travel to Niger State, Kogi State, Plateau State, the southeast Abia, the North Riverine of Delta, Bayelsa River, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Imo. Niger border. The Nigerian-Niger border remain closed. Nigerian authority respond to political situation in Niger. If you are planning to travel by land to cross this border, check with local authority for the latest information. This is coming from the FCDO, the Foreign and Common, Development here in London.
Well, when I listened to that and I listened to the list that you had and I had Katsina, then I asked myself the question: what security? Measures did the former president actually put down? Because his own state, his own backyard, and they say you can't go there. Wow. Listeners, it's STARR Radio UK. Let's move on to some other stories. Interestingly, well, I was asking the question whether maybe the husband said he wanted Ghana jollof rice. The wife said, "I'll prepare you Nigerian jollof rice," and that brought the banter where a man has killed the wife. Yomi is going to tell us more about that and a lot more from the other stories making the rounds and what is on the social media. Over to you, Yomi.
Well, you're quite right. A very sad development coming from Nigeria. This morning, an husband have killed the wife over cooking agreement in Lagos State. You would think that Lagos State is still a state that is well secured, and much more far ahead. But again, violence against women still takes place across the world. A yet to be identified husband has murdered his wife in Olota area of Alimosho local government area of Lagos State over a failure to cook his meal last Thursday. According to the information, the trouble started when the husband, who was said to have returned from work, discovered that the wife only prepared noodles rather than his favorite meal. Consequently, eyewitness who did not want to be mentioned in the media because of fear of intimidation that the suspect left the deceased in the house after he had allegedly hit her on the crown of her head with what was believed to be a heavy object and beaten her to pulp it. According to the neighbor who called the husband to tell him that his wife was already convulsing, correspondent learned that the effort by the husband and the neighbors to rush this woman to the hospital, actually she died midway. Now, according to the Lagos State Command, the State Police Public Relations Officer, Benjamin Uduni, had yet to confirm this as well as at the time of writing this file. But the source says the Meron Police Division said that the suspect was arrested after the brother of the deceased victim approached the station for the matter. So we hope, justice will be served in that particular, situation. Let's touch on one or two more before we straight to the social media. My administration, committed to removing anti-investment barriers. President Bola Tinubu continued to try to bring in these investors back into the country as quickly as possible to support his agenda, the renewed agenda that he said. We saw him with the Prince Charles in Dubai. We saw the budget, 27 trillion has been put together. We saw, in Dubai, telling investors to come to Nigeria, the same in Germany. What do investors want if you're going to be coming into the country? You want a country that also has a very good security. Look at what we listed from the travel to Nigeria. But President Bola Tinubu says he has assured the international investment community that his administration would ensure that Nigeria remains a top-level destination for the offshore and the onshore investment, even though we can see that, companies are pulling out of Nigeria, intervally. But the question again is, after receiving the chairman of Total Energy Worldwide, Patrick Punyana, yesterday in Abuja, the president says again that the federal government commitment is to remove all anti-investment impediment in the country. So we will monitor that and see how that goes, within the next, few minutes. Let's see if we can now take you straight to some of what was discussed during the event yesterday, the Autumn Black History Month that was presented, by Councillor Sonny Lambe, and this is some of what was said during that event. So what was discussed there is all about those that their parent, their grandparent came into this country in 1940 when, we now talk about the Windrush. There was another gentleman that talked about how we've now literally left the real Windrush because they've not even able to identify and have a background history of 10 out of the 1,400 passengers on that ship. It is still work ongoing, but yet one of our mothers also talked about how we were, deceived that, after we built United Kingdom, we are no longer needed. She says, I've lived there, for the last 40 years of my life. We have served this community. We talked about it from the NHS to the rail network, to, investment, to so much that we've done. But yet it seems that when the going is now becoming tougher, we are now being told, when you come into UK, you probably have to return back to Nigeria or Africa, but it seems that many people are now not really satisfied with such arrangement by the UK government, and that is why so much challenges is coming, today. But like I said, it was a very great evening. The mayor of Sodok was on the ground as well, to give his own welcoming speech, and also, like I said, what was it like arriving in UK in the 50s? In the 60s, in the 70s, in the 80s. I arrived in the 90s, and it seems that things have not been as bad as it used to be in the 50s, but we are still witnessing many racism and many bias within the system. Where are we now? Are we there yet? What does the future look like? How do we get there together? These were part of what was discussed by some of the guest speakers, Sarah Campbell, Sandra Bukwola, OBE. When I met her, she also said thank you so much to me, for the great job that we are doing for the campaign to the Yoruba nation, because she said that as someone, if you think of someone having an OBE in this country, that means they've served the community. She says, whatever I've done here, if I've meant to go and replicate it in Nigeria, it will have been a bottleneck. It will not happen. So she talked about, the work that, Professor Banji Akintoye and Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho and all the medias to create that conscious awareness about the right to self-determination. And as we go straight into the social media before I come back again to you in the studio this morning, it seems already, Simon Ekpa, the PM to the Biafra government in exile, responding to another article that says terrorists from Cameroon turned to Taraba communities into graveyard, killed over 500 persons. House of Reps member raised the alarm, and Simon Ekpa says, and I quote, the Nigeria Islamic State sponsored jihad against Christians in the north. You can do whatever you want in the north. You would dare not try it in Biafra land. So you can see that, if over 500 communities have been killed, where is the security? And you can see why the ESN says we will continue to defend and protect our loved ones in the Biafra territory. Well, fighting Nigerian leaders is fruitless. What you should be doing is pray for Nigeria. I never said so. This is what Pastor Enoch Adeboye is saying again this morning. The pastor in charge of the Region 12 of the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Pastor Richard Adeboye, has called for more prayers for the leadership of the country to overcome its arrays of woes and challenges. Adeboye said, rather than protesting and cursing them as done in the past with no retrieve in sight. Nigerians should rather rely on the instrument of prayer for the desired turnaround for the good of the country. According to the cleric, disclosed this while speaking with newsmen as they prepare for the Christmas Mega Praise Night Season 2 with the team Dominion held at Shimawa High School in Ogun State. Adeboye says that there is no nation like Nigeria. The fact that we are still surviving is a symbol that God has created this nation in a very unique way, and very soon we shall shout victory at last. Hallelujah.
Amen. Interesting. You know, when we have our spiritual leaders, I mean, those of us, listen, they know Yomi where it belongs, they know where I belong, but we believe in the power of God. We believe in prayers as well. But when you can see blatantly somebody stealing your money to do that, you say, I should go and be praying.
The question we should first ask is that, did God created Nigeria? Because I was reading I advise people to go and watch the journey of the journey of African colony. And you know, the question is that there was what they call the making of Nigeria. So if there was a making of Nigeria, we can also, you know, unmake it as well.
Well, can we unmake it? Good morning to you, and thank you very much to as many of you who have joined us on the various platforms as well. We want to salute each and every one of you. It's been a pleasure once again coming your way with these updates with Mr. OLAYOMI Koiki. Now, Yomi, before you go.
Well, as the festival period is coming right here, try to get those gifts quickly because the store gets very busy. The delivery is getting very quiet because more people continue to order, and I'm sure we will have a great festival season as it's getting closer. And like I always say, you know, I mean, my grandmom said the same thing, my mom said the same thing. In Yoruba, we say, Enodun babalaye lo shodun. As long as you're alive, just celebrate it, even if it's not one thing that it is part of your own religion as well.
Well, that is also so true. Thank you very much, Yomi, and have a wonderful day.
Bye for now.
Well, listeners, that has been Mr. OLAYOMI Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria.
Our pastor Ikediro, if you come with a Baba Pablo Saben. Alpha. Eitimi Chewa Tabarara Chewa Gang Chewa Arararararara Rarararara Ruru Jalafia mo ba gbogbo wa. Ṣé ń gbádùn. Àwọn tó jí kó ní Kogi ibo lọ́rọ̀ wọn dé báyìí. The insecurity in the land. What do we do and what is the next step? Ṣé bá ṣe máa wò náà lélẹ̀. Tá máa jí wa gbé Mr. Peter mo kí ẹ káàárọ̀ sà. Mo kẹ́yìn tèmi tá jẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ lórí TikTok. Wọ́n máa ń jí àwọn èèyàn gbé. A wà lórí ètò lálẹ́ àná. Èèyàn kan pè ó ní àbúrò òun méjì ló wà náà tó jí gbé. Johnson àti kìnní kan. Wọ́n ní kó lọ wá 30 million wa. Àwọn 14 ni wọ́n jí gbé. That's 140 million. Àti wọ́n one chance o. We are all in a one chance. So I don't know. So it's a very, very sad situation. Any kind of mom. I mean, ìbéèrè tẹ́ ká bira wa ni pé níbo ni security wà báyìí nísìn. Ṣé ní security mọ́ Nàìjíríà nísìn ní ká sọ. There's no security. Bàbá mi fà. Ṣé ní security mọ́. Ṣé àwọn pé àwọn èèyàn ti pariwo gbùrùgbùrùgbùrùgbùrùgbùrù wá ti pariwo nísìn, everybody goes quiet and àwọn èèyàn nísìn àtàwọn family wọn lọ́wọ́ máa dé pẹ̀lú problem yẹn. Ṣé àwọn pé àwọn tó jí gbé tó ń lọ sí Sokoto láti Akwa Ibom, àwọn mẹ́rin sì wà nùgbò pẹ̀lú àwọn Fúlàní terrorist. Ṣé rí reason táwọn Biafra ṣe sọ pé ẹni máa jí àwọn gbé lọ́dọ̀ tiwọn ó máa difficult o. Article tí mò ń kà lẹ́ǹkan yẹn ọ̀dà tí mo pick lẹ́ǹkan yẹn orí Sahara Reporter ni Samonepa ti crop ẹ̀ terrorists from Cameroon. Wow. Window only terrorists from Cameroon. They are no Taraba. Okpa 500. The same thing Shele ni Mr. Son or any Mr. Koiki security in one Nigeria is laughable. So what are we going to do? Who is concerned and who is not concerned? Are you concerned? Okay, you know a lot of things now. Nigeria been in UK. So I don't know. And for every day, they're still turning blind eyes. Work closer is a very, very important thing. Mr. Peter Pan, good morning. Town governors of provide security. Every one of us is now in danger. Who do we call? Talamakwe. Because the expectation is we have governors, and the job of those governors is to take care and look after us. Mr. Oluwafolabi Mushari commenting, any security are only after those clamoring for disintegration of Nigeria, not the criminals and Bororo. It's raining here in UK, yeah. If to say I get slim body, I for just request for this your outfit. KFC to pọ̀ jù nìyẹn. Reduce the KFC at the McDonald's. Ẹ bá fẹ́ràn kan báyìí, ẹ lọ sórí Omita Culture. Wàláì, wá gé fún yín tó máa dúró lára yín dáadáa. Mo kí bàbá wa Monday Abiodun. Àwọn tó kidnap yẹn nísìn. Ẹ jẹ́ ká jọ gbé yẹ̀wò báyìí. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ó fẹ́ sọ káàárọ̀ sà. Sí dáadáa lẹ́wà. Chief mo ti rí nǹkan dùn. Àjókòó báyìí nísìn ní 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 ó kọjọ́ márùn-ún ẹ̀dàn pé mọ́tò kì í rìn níjọ́ Christmas gbogbo tẹ bá lè máa fi ránṣẹ́ tẹ bá fi ránṣẹ́ èmi náà láti jáde lọ ra nǹkan kí lẹ sọ ẹni government should embark on a large scale recruitment and recruitment Nigerians into the ṣebí kan tí Tinubu sọ nígbà tí Buhari wà níbẹ̀ ẹ rántí pé Tinubu actually said that pé recruit tá ò bá tẹ recruit àwọn èèyàn sínú security a ní Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn nílẹ̀ ìyàwó mi ìgbà tí mo dá l'Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn àbọ̀ ó dá fẹ́ pé Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn kẹ̀ Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ṣì wà ṣá wọ́n ṣì wà náà ìwọ wa lè wá ní Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ṣì ṣiṣẹ́ náà. àyírọ̀ wọ́n sọ yẹn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn ṣì wà Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn àwọn èèyàn dáadáa ló wà náà Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn alágbèékọ̀yà ìtọ́kọ̀ ni láti ṣe ni pé wọ́n kọ̀ ni láti empower okay wọ́n tán tó lẹ́wà mo mà dúpọ̀ yẹn dáadáa. Ṣé pójò dọ́dọ̀ yín náà ni Waterstone òjò àlùbáríkà nìyẹn àkópalẹ̀ mọ́dún sáà mo pàdé àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi méjì kan lánàá wàláì lórí bọ́ọ̀sì àwọn náà gbogbo àti mo dé side ibi London Bridge bí ṣe bọ́lẹ̀ lórí bọ́ọ̀sì báyìí ẹ̀gbọ́n ẹ̀ side mi wọ́n ní Koiki Media mo ní bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n á gbọ́n ò lọ́wọ́ làbá shake ìjáyà ìyàwó mi náà ò gbọ́ voice lẹ́nu jọ́ mẹ́ta ó dà gbẹ́dẹ̀ ti ṣe audio kan bọ̀ kò mọ ọjọ́ tí mò ń play ṣàlàfíà lẹ́wọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ìṣe bọ́lẹ̀ lórí bọ́ọ̀sì báyìí lẹ́gbọ́n Mr. Koiki mo níbẹ̀ ni ẹ̀wọ̀n pé nílùú yìí ní time tí mo jáde yẹn which is about almost 5 ìsídà tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tán níbi iṣẹ́ àbí òun lọ resume so mo á bí wọ́n pé ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń lọ ní àbẹ́ tí ń padà wọ́n náà ṣẹ̀ ń lọ ní night lọ ṣe kò easy o èmi náà ti ṣiṣẹ́ night yẹn rí gbogbo ara máa rú ẹ tó bá dé láàárọ̀ ni ìgbà míì gan nílé sùn because kó tó máa sùn á ti máa fẹ́ tọwọ́ sàn ìlú Ìkẹrẹ ẹni tó bá ṣe night wọ́n á tó lọ ṣe 1 or 2 things so eventually sometimes onírọ̀rùn yẹn sùn ìgbà tí mo tún padà bọ̀ lálẹ́ ta parí program tí mo lọ ṣe mo tún pàdé ọ̀nà dáwọn lórí bọ́ọ̀sì ẹ̀gbọ́n kan àwọn náà lè máa wò mí báyìí ní síbi àtọ́ bá ti jíṣà mo ní ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ ń lọ ni because mo kàn sense pé lálẹ́ ní time yẹn bí ṣe wọn náà ṣe ń lọ ní night làwọn náà ń ṣe ẹ já padà sórí security. Ṣé pé ìjáyà ni mo múra bí àwọn Fúlàní ṣáṣọ Fúlàní lélẹ́yìn ni ṣé yóò ṣaṣọ Fúlàní ẹ̀yin ò dáṣọ mọ́ ni ẹ̀yin ò wọ native ni wọ́n ní Koiki why this Fulani style today aṣọ tí mo fi wọ tí cousin mi fi ṣe nǹkan ní London some years back cousin mi yẹn mo lè dárúkọ ẹ̀ Bọ̀dé Star Entertainment gbogbo kẹtó mọ àwọn Davido nǹkan kan yẹn ẹ mọ iṣẹ́ táwọn yẹn ti ṣe kọ́ fi gbé wá sí Nàìjíríà ṣù ó sì ń ṣe DJ tó dẹ̀ àwọn òun ló kọ́kọ́ pé wọ́n máa play orin Afrobeat ní London ní West ní City ni mo ń sọ kò ń ṣe nínú abúlé gbogbo àwọn gbèríko tí gbogbo wa dúró sí o àwọn ló kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí play orin ní gbogbo Central London nígbà tá a sì máa ń lọ club káàkiri Bọ̀dé Star Entertainment kò sí nǹkan tó fi gbé wá sí Nàìjíríà òṣìwò kò ọ̀jẹ̀ kó work ọmọlọ́mọ ẹ yà jókòó pa sí UK nísìn tó ń lọ between Europe and UK ló ti ń ṣe business nísìn ìgbà yẹn Virgin ṣì ń operate dáadáa fún wọn ní endorsement pé kọ́ lọ nothing works in Nigeria it's just a shit of country so nígbà tó ṣe event kan ní Abadaṣọ yìí cousin mi dáadáa ni èèyàn ti Koiki Media ni so a ṣe wà lórí security ẹ̀yìn èèyàn mi. Kí lorúkọ yín wọ́n ní I am your membership due paying member on PayPal ṣàlàfíà ni mo wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni because àwọn kan máa ń send but bàtà bá ti mọ bẹ́tẹ̀ bá fún mi lórúkọ yín okay na the cap wey you put on ẹja wọ ti Yorùbá nation cap ẹja boiling wáyé ṣé lè da fìlà tó mú nígbà yẹn ni bí mi ṣe ṣe ni fìlà tó mú nígbà yẹn ni ló fẹ́ jọ ti Tinubu ìgànsẹ̀ bọ̀ kò ń ṣe sáìn Tinubu lélẹ́yìí o èmi àlọ́ máa ní Koiki wọ fìlà Tinubu bóyá mo ti lọ endorse Tinubu kọ́ Tinubu ni fìlà ta tọ́ ṣe nígbà yẹn lélẹ́yìí ó fẹ́ jọ sáìn Tinubu ni bọ̀ kò ń ṣe ti Tinubu wàhálà ti wà Nàìjíríà yẹn Ọlọ́run wàhálà wà Nàìjíríà àwọn tó jí gbé yìí nísìn ta ló máa lọ rescue wọn kí lórúkọ yín ẹ̀gbọ́n ọ̀dádìwà dẹ̀ ni Sun Odu ló wà ń bẹ̀ ẹ ṣé gan ni we appreciate you gbogbo ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń jẹ́ ká máa lọ náà ní gbogbo ìgbà náà ni ẹ̀yin tẹ́ ń support wa Koiki máa báṣẹ́ lọ mọ́mí tí mo pàdé lánàá yẹn náà mo dárúkọ wọn lẹ́ẹ̀kan she was very happy to see me yesterday she was very very happy. What do we do with the insecurity? Tí bá ṣe máa wò náà lélẹ̀ ìtọ́kọ̀ máa kidnap àwọn èèyàn and we do nothing. What are we going to do? Mr. Oluwafolabini, Koiki, forget them. Nobody will rescue them. That is their family. The family members will do that. That's a lot of money. One of my gba 10 million. I want your concon. Níbi tí Nàìjíríà lè dé láàárọ̀ yìí àwọn kan lówó yẹn àwa lè má ní ni o àwọn tó ní ṣìgìdì owó tó wà lọ́wọ́ wọn okay yeah mo ti rí okay yeah tó tọ́ ni yeah Mr. Sunday Odubi confirm okay mo mọ̀ pé ìlẹ̀ wà behind that paper ẹ ṣé gan ni now I know thanks so much but when we started the movement everybody was just like we were doing something good. We are not doing anything good now. So for now, only what is split movement? I had to drop away. I was maybe going down long. Montreal láti wo bitati fe bẹ̀rẹ̀ nísìn. Wọ́n ko bí aka pa gbogbo program yẹn kíkọ start again fresh. Mo fẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ níbi tí a parí sí lánàá. Ta ló ti wo program ta nà? En tó bá ti wo program ta ṣe lóru àná. Ibẹ̀ mo ti fẹ́ ká bẹ̀rẹ̀ padà bí a ká continue ni or bí a kì í end it ìtẹ̀bá decide the making of Nigeria I think we can just continue we see the making why the kidnapping self Nigeria is not a country again and why the kidnapping that is the whole life what thing of Sherry what thing threatening wa ni ìyẹn làwọn Biafra sọ pé àwọn ò ní gbà ẹ mọ̀ pé àwa nísìn our Yoruba campaign and our security outfit. So we rely on Amotekun, Agbekoya, the governors that have access to all these soldiers and police. Our security outfit. Be our ESN. You know, because our ESN will trust the security apparatus one more. Not that the governors are not doing, but it seems that they are not doing enough. Expectation our Nisingon is that also, have you seen Ogbomoso King that committed abomination and also disrespected our I saw the Morilori BBC Motiri Kakiri. Motiri Egbomijaya. The question is, Tobaya, when the right time comes, I want the stew sometimes what they are doing, but I don't know. Say King Charles lè kúnlẹ̀ síwájú Archbishop kó wá gbọ́wọ́ lé lórí kó máa ṣàdúrà fún. Àwa tá wà ní UK, ó rà pé àwa bíi méjì kan ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kan náà wà ń wọ́n mi wọ́n tán store. So possible ṣá kí King Charles kó wá pe man Archbishop yẹn tí Buhari like gan. Àwọn kí bàbá yẹn ti ṣiṣẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà rẹ̀ pẹ̀lú Shell kó tó jẹ́ Archbishop. So possible kí King Charles wá kúnlẹ̀ ká wá máa ṣàdúrà lé lórí. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi David Adegoke ní láíláí kò lè possible. So kí ló wá dé táwọn ọba tí wá ń ṣe yẹn? Ṣé torí wọ́n kọ̀ fífi sọ pé gbogbo wa according to them àwọn gbogbo ẹ̀sìn làwọn ń ṣe ni. Bàbá mi Fad ní èèwọ̀ òrìṣà. What is the reason behind that gan? Kí ló máa ń wà? Kí ni reason tó fi máa ń kúnlẹ̀ síwájú pastor tó ń ṣàdúrà fún wọn? Kí ni reason? Èmi ò mọ̀. Okay, brother mi kan ní ọmọ Koiki ìwọ sí nílé o. Gbogbo Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn tó ń pariwo yẹn. Wọ́n ní Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn yẹn ti gbàgbọ́dè. Kí ló dé tó ń gbàgbọ́dè? The purpose of Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn was also to defend and protect Yoruba land. Èmi feel pa Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn kọ́kọ́ need kan fún wọn ní more training. Mo ń gbọ́ tí brother mi kan mo máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ ó ti bá wa sọ̀rọ̀ few times. Fẹ́mi Aratokun ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa ní UK by lower is trained up to firearms. Ó ti lọ Nigeria, ó ti train ọlọ́pàá, ó ti train this. I think it's just about more training làwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn need. I mean, there might be compromise, which there's no doubt. But again, if we are serious, and we have governors that are very serious, Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn gangan ló yẹ kó máa ṣiṣẹ́ lẹ̀ Yorùbá fún wa pẹ̀lú àwọn Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà. But nígbà tó yẹ pé ìgbà mi máa ń gbọ́ program mi lórí brother wa Oríyọmí Hamzat, ó dà pé ó gbé àwọn case kan wá lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta yìí. Ó dà pé àwọn OPC ni ẹ̀tọ́ ní OPC lọ tí wọ́n máa ń sunkún rẹpẹtẹ pé ó ti pọkọ wọn. Why do we kill each other? Why are we killing each other in Yoruba land? Why do we love to kill each other? Ṣé èdè ni? Kí ló tá máa ń threaten ara wa? Àwọn tó ń ṣe wá threaten wọn. Aráàlú ló máa ń threaten. Yẹn làwọn àyà àwọn èèyàn máa ń já gan. Gbogbo ilé táwa ń ṣe láti ta nísìn. Àwọn tó wà lé náà wọ́n lè ṣe but hey, ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí mo kàn kankan lẹ́ẹ̀kan woman tí wọ́n náà kọ ẹ̀ pa. People are very scared in Nigeria. Mo kí Mr. Aziz. Yeah, Oríyọmí Hamzat, Ọ̀yọ́ State Social Welfare Department. That is the fact. Kí ló dé láàárọ̀ yìí? What is no jurisdiction? You know, Oríyọmí is doing his best, but that best here, just small percentage. Hey, bàbá mi Sulaiman, àjọ láti bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá Nation. Lẹ́yìn ìgbà tí màmá wọn kú nìkan lọ change DP wọn. Èmi àti wọn lájọ wà lórí DP. Wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ mi kú. Ọlọ́ba nífẹ̀ẹ́ yín. I appreciate. We just continue the program so that I need to end there. So, but we will be going in and out of different areas. kí ló dé táwọn ọba wa máa ń kúnlẹ̀ fáwọn pastor kó ṣàdúrà fún wọn? Is it because kọ́ lè sọ pé wọ́n nífẹ̀ẹ́ Christianity lọ ṣe ń ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àbí the reverse? I don't know. Ìyẹn kan. How do we empower Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn? Márùn tí bàtà kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀. Yes, I mean, Olóyè was doing his best then. And I remember tàbá fẹ́ jáde lọ sáwọn ibi tá máa ń lọ káàkiri yẹn, Olóyè máa involve àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn, Àgbẹ̀kọ̀yà. Mo rántí nígbà tá à ń lọ sí ọjà ọ̀dàn yẹn. You know, àwọn Àmọ̀tẹ́kùn yẹn ti line up rẹpẹtẹ. Ìmọ̀ àti convoy tí wọ́n ń bọ̀ gbà. And sometimes, you know, we do it quietly, that is not social media, because people were there like, ṣé bá ṣe ń ṣe yìí ṣá kò dáa, kan gbogbo ẹ̀lẹ́ ń gbé wá sórí social media. Then, you know, but because it's any money, but there were some few things that they don't bring on the social media. And I think the kings were, our politicians, they didn't like the way Chief was operating then. We come out local kiri day, security shower nínú. But these security are not working. That was the reason why the Chief should take on board. Ìgbà tó yá wọn kan ní pé I hear that all the time. I don't know where they get this. Pé mi ni mo change the Chief kúrò nínú máa wọnú gbó lọ, èmi mo lọ gbé Yorùbá nation fún Chief, you know. I don't know. I know people have accused me of that back to back, but I don't care anyway. You know, we love Chief, and he's doing, and he has done much that many Yoruba people tó jẹ́ àwọn èèyàn ńláńlá tó yẹ kó ṣe wọ̀ ṣe. Chief dem máa ń sọ ó náà àwọn èèyàn ńláńlá wà mú kí àmì Fọlákẹ́ ó ní Yorùbá nation, Yorùbá ti pọ̀ jù kọ́lọ́n fẹ́ ṣàánú. Ara tá à ń sọ náà nìyẹn, ó ti gba èdè kúrò lọ́wọ́ Olúwẹ̀. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe kọ́ èmi náà máa fẹ́ kọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀, but hello Yorùbá nation. Mo gbàdúrà fún àwọn ènìyàn bí aláìgbàgbọ́, politician, àwọn àgbààgbà ilẹ̀ Yorùbá, wọ́n rí ọ̀rìjìlẹ̀ fi àtẹnujẹ Elédùmarè á ṣe fún wọn. Yeah, we shall try. I told a friend yesterday that the reason they wanted to kill Igboho, ṣé àwọn pé Chief nígbà ìgbà tá à ń jáde yẹn, that fear ó wà ní ọ̀dọ̀ àwọn Fúlàní yẹn pé mo máa ń bí kan tá bá ti ní à ń bọ̀ báyìí ọwọ́ ọ̀gbẹ́ lọ ni, you know. But it was becoming uncomfortable for Buhari àti àwọn Fúlàní clan, àwọn Sultan of Sokoto. They were very, very uncomfortable nígbà yẹn, very, very uncomfortable pé ta ló ẹ̀mọ̀ kó ń tán sọ nípa yẹn pé ta ló fún Chief ní order kó máa káàkiri kó máa ṣe tó ń ṣe yẹn, àwọn olú sọ fún pé kó máa káàkiri kó máa wọ káàkiri. Ṣé àwọn àkókò bá yẹ pé bá ṣe ń lọ yẹn tá à ń lọ, àwa lè má dé north láti ṣe assistant fún wọn, but tó bá yẹ pé mo tẹ̀lé àìtẹ́ tí ìdí Kwara àìtí ìdí Kogi a ṣì wà within, you know, Ọ̀yọ́, because Ọ̀yọ́ kan tóbi. Ta lẹ́rù kó ń kówó fún Chief nígbà tá à ń káàkiri yẹn, ó wá rẹ̀ ló náà. He was spending his money. Mo dẹ̀ rántí àwọn truck wọn, at least kò ń ṣe pé ìgbà tí ó ti ní àwọn truck yẹn, each of those truck cost him 17 million. Àwa fi ń wọnú ìgbẹ́ káàkiri because àwọn ibìkan wà, àwọn mọ́tò kan tá bá dáwọn area kan, a máa ń pààkì àwọn mọ́tò mi tá bá gbé débẹ̀. Àwọn boys àwọn lock mọ́ gbogbo ara mọ́tò tó lè wọnú àwọn inú ibẹ̀ yẹn lọ. Then àwọn ọlọ́kadà, àwọn èèyàn ṣí lọ bam. So, but I don't think, you know, Buhari was very happy. Yes, you know, and we were betrayed by those we called àwọn àgbàgbàlẹ̀ Yorùbá. What betray wa gan? Well, you know, what betray wa gan? Because they knew exactly that the only way láti flush àwọn wèrè jáde ó ní pé irú èèyàn bí Chief, you know, will lead the push, and he was doing it. Ó bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ń pè every day, call ní, you know, which I'm not going to tell you who we're calling and who is not calling. You know, me, Chief Mane, you can buy on sorrow. And today, Baba ain't carry. Tó bá ṣe ń jí báyìí, phone yẹn, a máa ring ní gbàgbàgbàgbàgbàgbà àlejò lọ́tún lósì, you know. So the question is, how do we protect Southwest? How do we protect it? Oh, okay. To bá better sọ pé ẹ̀tẹ̀ ní jẹ́ kí n stop, èmi gan ti fẹ́ continue. Better wà ní off lane ni, Ọlọ́run fa àlàáfíà sára. Ìlú yìí ni mo mọ̀ pé má ti di Christmas báyìí. Gbogbo ẹ̀ máa shut down ni. Ìlú tí transportation ò kí ń lọ anywhere. Why expect kó wà nínú ilé ẹ̀? Àfi tó bá ní mọ́tò, tó bá dẹ̀ máa pe Uber double ni níjọ́ Christmas. If we have continued with the campaign of the insecurity, tan push it. Ṣé mọ̀ pé yẹn náà was creating a lot of energy fáwọn èèyàn. Táwọn èèyàn á ti gbọ́ pé chief ń bọ̀ báyìí. You know, it was a very, I really enjoyed us at that period, but there were so many backlash with Chief Lojojumo. You know, there was so many backlash. Now, ọmọ Yorùbá lè ń tọ́ kidnapping nísìn between Kogi àti Abuja. Ṣé security ò lè form àwọn group kan débi pé, I mean, I'm talking about àwọn àmì nísìn o. Tó bá ṣe kidnap àwọn èèyàn báyìí, tó dẹ̀ ti gbọ́ pé wọ́n ti kidnap o lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀, kó gbé helicopter jáde, kó trade, because àwọn people yẹn rìn ṣe gay. Ṣé rí bá ṣe kidnap wọn yẹn? Mo mọ access ibi tó ti kidnap wọn gangan, but wọ́n ní between Kogi àti Abuja. Bó ṣe kidnap wọn ní moment tó kidnap wọn yẹn, wọ́n máa rìn more than 3 to 4 hours. And I'm not joking. So, tó bá ṣe ń kidnap àwọn èèyàn, the first into a kọ́kọ́ bọ́ta òun helicopter. Ẹ mọ̀ pé helicopter tó bá dẹ̀ ní thermal imaging àbí kí ló ń pè lọ nísàlẹ̀, ó lè máa feel, ó lè rí hit àwọn tó bá ń rìn. Wá dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé okay, àwọn tó ń wọnú igbó tó ń rìn, because àwọn náà máa wọnú igbó ni wọ́n rìn lójú títì, inú igbó ló máa wọ lọ. Àwọn dẹ̀ mọ̀ ọ̀nà ju àwa lọ. Àwọn tá ń sọ yìí, àwọn terrorist, wọ́n mọ̀ ṣégé ọ̀nà ju èmi àti yín lọ, because inú igbó yẹn làwọn ń gbé ló ń sùn ló ń jí. Ibẹ̀ làwọn ń gbé ló ń sùn ló ń jí. So tó bá ti kidnap àwọn èèyàn, wọ́n ti mọ bó ṣe máa gba route yẹn lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ kí n play Mommy Why àti gbọ́ fídíò yẹn rí. I hope pé mo ní lórí system eléyìí. I just hope so. Ó wà níbí báyìí. So wá ti máa kọ lọ sí background. Mo fẹ́ ká gbọ́. This was in 2018.
The driver tell the what?
Elisuruma, 9 minutes 58 seconds. It was 2018. I expect me by now. Oh yeah, kí wọ́n ti ní intelligent gathering. Ìyẹn àwọn tó pera wọn ní military, DSS, police, so that ẹni tó bá ṣe ń gbọ́ pé àkódà ó yẹ kán náà àwọn tó máa jẹ́ bí kidnapping squad. The moment tó bá gbọ́ pé wọ́n ti kidnap anybody nínú Nigeria o, àwọn kidnapping squad yẹn ló máa kọ́kọ́ deploy lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀. Wọ́n máa wọnú igbó tẹ̀lé wọn lọ ni. But it seems that everybody just like, you know, chicken Sainsbury's, feed 5 people for £20. Killer nail in 2 years team. Undercover cop trapped chef who chop up partner by becoming his best friend. After Odumeji, or track it down. Our security dance on here. Yes, sometimes people get away with crime, but it was set up trap for one. By now, oh yeah, Kati people it operate in Nigeria. But because our powerful people who are behind it, Dele Alake saw, and this is Buki Baba Megmomi, Mr. Taiwo David. And this is why we are saying the making link more program the making of Nigeria. Because the making of Nigeria, anything, won't affect me ló affect ìwọ, and everybody is shying away from it. Àwa tá wá ń gbóhùn síta tá ń sọ, àwa yẹn lẹ wá ń sọ pé àwa gangan ni scammer. I don't understand what that means. Scam wa ni. Any Yoruba nation bọ̀ scam wa ni kò tí dé. Ṣé o mọ̀ tán pè Nàìjíríà ni? Ṣé o fi pọ̀jọ́ kan lọ make Nàìjíríà ni? Tíyàwó ẹ̀ bá máa dín ọbẹ̀ fún ẹ nísìn, ṣé ó kàn máa lọ sí market, akọ̀kọ̀ gbogbo èlò yẹn, akọ̀kọ̀ lé gbùrùgbùrùgbùrù, á dẹ̀ di ọbẹ̀. Kó tó ṣe ọbẹ̀ yẹn, wàá làágùn nínú kitchen kí wo tó jẹ. Mo kí Ọlákúnlé, ó ní breakfast is rapidly spreading in Nigeria. Now everybody go chop am. Àdúrà pé kó má jẹ everybody náà làwọn ṣe ń tètè pariwo. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó kọ síbí wà ní sí. Kí pépà wọ́n ṣẹ̀ mú fún mi ni. Ìgbà tí dẹ̀ máa ṣe báyìí. Killer person nailed after 2 years. Ẹja kan yẹn. Ká lè rí in tó ń pè ní security òun ṣe tí yàn fi ń ṣeré. Tẹ́ bá ti lose security yín is a problem. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ pé the making of this country tó ń pè Nigeria, it is not for us. Undercover cops traps a chef who chopped up his partner by becoming his best friend. An undercover officer. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà Nigeria ni mo ń bá sọ̀rọ̀ dáadáa nísìn. This is a job that you can do as well. Ẹ jẹ́ n change nígbà tá a ti sọ pé ká máa bá program yẹn lọ. Ẹ jẹ́ ká your background ti studio ká fi ti Yorùbá Nation sí lẹ́yìn. Nígbà tá a ti ní ká máa bá program yẹn lọ. So because I'm a pẹ́ lórí ẹ̀. So I gotta make sure I have, a different, background showing, which is the Yoruba Nation background. Kayoti studio delay, the man lo lara ro green background. Kawaloti Yoruba Nation. Kini wa be. So I ka fi le be. That's it. Ko mo tún lẹ́yọ̀ kan sí. Méjì ni. Kémi ni bàbá Yorùbá Nation. Ẹ tó bá sì fẹ́ ra flag o, mo ṣe ń ta flag o, mo tẹ̀ polówó ẹ̀ lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta ẹ̀. Ọkùnrin ti ní ibi tẹ́mi ti rówó nìyẹn. Mo ní tí wọ́n bá fẹ́ ra flag UK lọ sí títì kó sọ fún wa pé kó fún ẹ lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Ṣé ìwọ ní flag America nínú ilé? Ṣé ọ̀fẹ́ lọ fún yín? Tá bá tẹ̀ fún yín lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́. Ṣé ẹ ká máa fún ẹ̀yin ọmọ Yorùbá Nation? Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ra flag, ẹ sì kàn sí mi, mo ṣe ń ta flag tèmi o. Kò tẹ́ pọ̀ mọ́ gan sẹ́. Bàtà rówó tá bá rọ́ pa rówó ni àtútù ṣe mọ̀ sí. But ní Nigeria, for now, lówó tá lè fi send the flag wá sílé ìgbà yẹn àwọn diaspora. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín, ẹ̀yin lẹ support. But for now, ẹ̀yin tó wà abroad, ẹ bá fẹ́ ra flag. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ra àwọn ńlá láì, àwọn ilé £20 ni. Àwọn ní kéékèèké báyìí. Ilé bọ̀ kò ń ṣe pẹ̀lú orin báyìí, but pẹ̀lú orígi. Èlò àtẹ̀tà yẹn £5. Ilé bàbá. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ ra àwọn onílé, ẹ̀wọ̀n tí àwọn ilé £10. So tó bá fẹ́ ra flag, mo tẹ̀ polówó flag lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta mo tẹ̀ ti gbàgbé concept, mo tẹ̀ ṣe ní díẹ̀ kan nílé. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ra flag, a lè send ẹ̀ sí America gan, àgbà yẹn a send ẹ̀. Kódà ìlú òní mo send flag sí tí mo fẹ́ lè sọ pé ọ̀nà ẹ̀ jìn. Mo send ẹ̀ lọ sí Australia. Mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kan tó wà níbẹ̀ àti Àrólé Odùduwà mo send ẹ̀ lọ sí ó dé Australia, wọ́n tún wá bá post ẹ̀ lọ sí New Zealand. Ó dà pé láàrin méjèèjì or something, I can't remember, but that was the longest one that send jáde nígbà tá a ṣe tá flag yẹn. But nígbà tó yẹ pé wọ́n ti infiltrate movement nígbà yẹn, at least gbogbo yín kọ́ lẹ gbà nílé, but gbogbo yín tẹ́ gbà ẹ dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ àwọn diaspora, àwọn lọ sponsor ẹ̀. Òun dẹ̀ ló jẹ́ kó tàn. So nísìn rédíò títí ti wà nílé nísìn fẹ́ni tó bá fẹ́ ra rédíò bẹ́ẹ̀ ni. Ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ra rédíò kẹjẹ ká mọ̀. But ẹni tó bá fẹ́ ra flag, tàbádẹ̀ rẹ̀ tó fẹ́ sọ pé Koiki, fún àìkú mo ṣe like initiative ọ̀rọ̀ flag yẹn. Mo ṣe lè sponsor 1,000 pieces fún mi ní cost. But àdúgbò mi ló máa bá ń send ẹ̀ sí. So now, security is very, very important. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ka bíbá díẹ̀ sí. Wọ́n ní an undercover officer. Undercover officer. They don't like it in show. Yoruba Nation. Because video me, I'm on káàkiri, I'm on káàkiri. So they bá ti wò kẹ́ máa rí Yoruba Nation ní background mi. Ní ẹ̀nà wà bẹ́yẹn. Torí bí ṣe jókòó ni. At least mo ti mú gbogbo ẹ̀ díẹ̀. Kákọ̀rà manager láàárọ̀ yìí. Orí olókun yẹn. màá sọ díẹ̀ tí bá ń ṣe program bọ̀ mo ní fún yín ní mo fi ṣe full program ni bó ní lẹ́tà àwọn ọlọ́pàá yẹn wà lẹ́tà ọlọ́pàá tí mo béèrè ibi tí orí olókun wà mo ń béèrè pé bó ló wà ọlọ́pàá ń sọ pé under freedom of information request reference number mo ní sọ̀rọ̀ síta wọ́n ní lóòótọ́ mo béèrè fún kankan on the 18th of October ni mo make request yẹn nílùú yìí pẹ̀lú London pẹ̀lú Metropolitan Police Service táwọn pè ní MPS mo ní mo fẹ́ mọ ibi tí orí olókun yẹn wà sculpture yìí so but wọ́n ní ìtorí àwọn ìdí kan àti ìdí kan àwọn ò ní lè sọ fún mi báwọn ò ní lè sọ fún mi so gbogbo tó send sí mi official sensitive page mẹ́fà public confidence when a request for information is made for police information it is correct that the police make appropriate information available to the public. Ìyẹn la ṣe ń sọ pé sí nínú Nàìjíríà okay Ọlákúnlé ní òun gba flag ẹni tó bá gba flag ní Nàìjíríà nílẹ̀ Yorùbá or wherever Nàìjíríà ẹ bá mi kọ sínú comment section mo kàn fẹ́ wo àwọn tó rí flag yẹn gbà nígbà yẹn tẹ́ bá rí flag gbà nígbà tá à ń ṣe campaign yẹn lọ ẹ bá mi fi sínú comment section. The public release of the requested information would accordingly reinforce the MPS commitment to be an open and transparent organization. Ṣé Nigerian police wà transparent? Ṣé Nigerian military wà transparent? Ṣó lè write Nigerian military nísìnyí kó sọ fún wọn pé mo fẹ́ mọ under freedom of information ẹ bá àwọn kankan jáde. Mo kí bàbá mi ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Adébánjọ Sunday. As transparency is intrinsically linked to public confidence, release of requested information will be likely to improve public confidence of the Metropolitan Service or the MPS. So I'm going to program the lórí pẹ̀sẹ̀pẹ̀sẹ̀. What do I need to satisfy? Ìlú òyìnbó dùn. Ìyẹlẹ wa ní ká kúrò nílùú òyìnbó ká máa bọ̀ ní zoo tí kò ní respect fún wa gbogbo àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n wa àwọn bàbá wa tó ti wà nílùú yìí mo pàdé mọ́mí wa Obiyi lánàá 40 years lọ́nà ti wà nílùú yìí wọ́n ní Koiki mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ ṣé gan ni àti bàbá Kítóyè àti Gbowó ohun wà ká lọ ṣoríṣiríṣi sílé irọ́ ni ọlọ́pàá tó wá ń sọ fún mi pé tí bá wà pé mo wà satisfied pẹ̀lú nǹkan táwọn send sí mi pé mo tún lè make a complaint FOI complaint Information Rights Unit in all possible circumstances the MPS will aim to respond to me in 20 days Moki Mommy wa Olajire Koka respond to me in 20 days but what send email láti update me pé kí má bínú ìjẹta bí ìjọ lọ send ilé padà mo ṣe printer jáde ni so a máa ṣe program lé lórí níbo ni sculpture yìí wà ṣé wá mọ̀ pé sculpture tẹ́ ń rí lẹ́yìn mi is 1,000 years ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí anyway lè máa rí lẹ́ǹkan kan tí bá move by ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà lórí TikTok so reason for decision legal annex a máa dé pẹ̀lú eléyìí in another program dáadáa ni. An undercover officer spent 2 years befriending a chef suspected of killing of a mom of 4. Wow. Finally learning him a decade after the murder. Wow. Ṣẹ̀ríṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá. Ẹlòmíì ní ọlọ́pàá lẹ́ ń fẹ́, CIA lẹ́ ń fẹ́, MI5 lẹ́ ń fẹ́, tẹ́ẹ̀mọ̀. Kò dẹ̀ ní sọ fún yín nínú ilé. An undercover police officer ó lọ befriend èèyàn láti lè mọ̀ bóyá òun ló pààyàn kan ṣẹríṣẹ́ ọlọ́pàá. And in Nigeria ń ṣe country the making of Nigeria is wrong and if we do nothing now it will have a big impact on our lives. The policeman moved into a flat 300 yards from Darren Osman, a 41, stuck up a friendship. Okoko lọ mọ kí bàbá wa ẹ̀gbọ́n mi bàbá dáadáa Kúnlé Ṣítà bàbá yẹn nígbà tá bẹ̀rẹ̀ movement production tí mo ṣe lọ́dọ̀ wọn gbogbo àwọn banner tá ń pín fún yín káàkiri tẹ́rẹ̀ gbogbo ẹ̀ la fi ń ṣòwò ọ̀fẹ́ ni mò ń ṣe lọ́dọ̀ wọn wọ́n gbà àfikọ́ lọ́n bá ń san yín lẹ́sàn dáadáa wọ́n gba £1 lọ́wọ́ wa àtowó material àtowó tó fi ń ṣe o iye tó ṣe mú tẹ̀ mọ̀ but tí bá lọ cost ẹ̀ nígbà yẹn ó lè tán ṣe we did over 1,000 worth of banners èyí tá a máa kọ Ogun State sí Yorùbá Nation kìnnì kan àwọn kan ti pè mí Mr. Koiki àwa náà ti rí gbà kọ́lọ́n wá pẹ̀lú wa moving forward. The policeman moved into a flat 300 yards from Daran. Ó kọ́kọ́ lọ gbalé lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ ilé ẹni yẹn. He started friendship and offered him casual work with moving stolen goods. So he would sit in a bug van for hours. They met daily, drank, played, pulled, walked their dogs together. Osman even asked the cop cover named Paddy Omar to be a best man if he ever married. Osman was feared to have knifed Clara Onland, 32, in 2012. Aziz, Muke, Bamidada, easy. Thanks so much for the love. Tibi yẹn máa confirm fún yín later. Tí bá ti ṣe program tán. Because I'm going to read fìrìfìrì for my update yín sir. Èèyàn tó pààyàn ní 2012. Àìmọye ọmọ Yorùbá tó ti pa nísìn for paying sake. Kò dẹ̀ sẹ́ni kankan tó ń ṣe investigation, especially àwọn tó máa ń jàjà àdúgbò, àwọn thug, àpẹẹrẹ ní àwa lọ́mọ ta, àwọn ọmọ àdúgbò. Mo ń bẹ̀ wá. Ẹ jẹ́ ká tẹ̀ díẹ̀díẹ̀ ká ṣe sùúrù. This is what the West have done to our life. Wọ́n ń ṣe wàhálà náà nílùú yìí o, wọ́n pa idán gidi ń bẹ̀rẹ̀ nílùú yìí náà, but nídìí gbogbo yẹn mọ́ nísìn internet ni pé báwo nílẹ̀ Yorùbá ṣe fẹ́ tẹ̀síwájú ká dẹ̀ máa ṣe fàájì wa. Àwọn ọmọ sí ti wá sọ fáwọn bàbá mi Abíọ́dún náà náà wọ́n gba flag. Mo kí yín alájà ìrànlọ́ ló bá dé ní Manchester. Salaam alaikum ya dáadáa. Tálàfẹ́ lẹ́wà mà. Bàbá mi Adégbọ́lá àwọn náà ní Mr. Koiki agba flag o nígbà tẹ́ ń sẹ́ndẹ̀ wá sílé. Ṣé wọ́n ta fún yín ní ẹjọ́ ta ló ta flag fún yín ní Nàìjíríà? Èèyàn kan lè sọ pé àwọn ra flag yẹn. Mo dúpẹ́ lẹ́yìn diaspora. Èyí tẹ́ dúró títí di wákàtí àwọn kan ti bọ́lẹ̀ wọ́n ti tẹ̀lé dagboru lọ. Wọ́n náà ló mọ̀ ṣe ẹ̀ràn àti ìgbà country ò lẹ́gbà ìbọ̀lẹ́gbà sí. Gbogbo ẹni mo fi sọ́sẹ́ kò tí sí country kankan tó ń pè ní Yorùbá Nation. Nigeria ló ṣe ń operate. But we have to work towards to bring it down so that could dissolve. So let's move away from this. So in the work of FIFA, ni pé láti 2012 ẹni tó pààyàn wọ́n ṣe wà nábẹ̀ ọlọ́pàá lọ ṣe bí ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ ó lọ pretend bí ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ̀ ó jẹ́ kó ní loyalty sí ó wá jẹ́wọ́ fún pé àtẹ̀lé ká tán délẹ̀ kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀. So òun pa girl yẹn ní 2012 kódà ó disband gbogbo body ẹ̀ bí ó ti dànù ni bí ó fún ajá jẹ ni òní pọ̀ láàrin àwọn náà báyìí. Kí ló wá ṣẹlẹ̀? Ẹ̀wẹ̀ tó pa ẹ̀wẹ̀ fine girl bó ṣe pa mélòó kòkòrò ẹran tí kòkòrò orí ẹ̀ àmọ́bi tó wà títí dọ̀la. Irú ayé wò lélẹ̀? Ọlọ́run bá ń fi ṣọ́ máa ṣọ́ yín. Ẹ ṣe Ọlọ́run bá ń fi ṣọ́ ṣọ́ yín tẹ̀ máa fi padà sí base yín. Kẹ̀dẹ̀ wà very careful. Ó gé gbogbo body ẹ̀ ó wá lọ dà sínú odò. Her body was never found, so there was not enough evidence to charge him. One more pọ̀ òun ló pa. Mr. Taiwo Larajuni, we got free flag and t-shirt in Ilorin. As far as Ilorin, wọ́n ní flag ìdọ́dọ̀ wọn. Ẹni tó bá gba flag, ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀, ẹ sọ bí tẹ́ gbà, ṣé Ogun State ni, ṣé Lagos ni. Kò ṣe gbogbo èèyàn ló gbà, but majority people got the flags. Ẹni tó bá wá ní wọ́n tà fóun, ẹ jẹ́ ká mọ̀. Because mo sọ fáwọn diaspora pé ẹ̀yin lẹ máa fund ẹ̀ àdẹ̀ níta bọ̀ fẹ́yìn o ẹ̀yin máa fi support wa ẹ̀yin máa rà ẹni tó bá sì fẹ́ ra flag ẹ jẹ́ kí n mọ̀ àtẹ ìpolówó lẹ́nujọ́ mẹ́ta mo lè ṣe níbi box ẹyọ kan nílé the last one mo kó lọ sí gbàtà lọ sí fake independent wọn tó ń ṣe ní 1st of October gbogbo àwọn ọmọ mi wa tó wà àwọn dáàdì wa tó wà gbogbo wọn ni mo fún lọ́fẹ̀ẹ́ níjọ́ yẹn because it was a last minute call and people came out and support me so mo kí bàbá wa Adébánjọ a ṣe máa para a ṣe ń lọ sínú the making of Nigeria mo kàn prepare mind wa so that ẹ̀yin tẹ́ bá ń sọ pé Koiki a fẹ́ Nigeria ṣé wọ́n lè ṣe investigation ikú tó pa Delegiwa ẹ wá ń wá ikú tó pa Mohbad kọ́lọ́n jẹ́ kọ́rí ẹni tó pa Mohbad o àìtí ìwà ikú tó pa Delegiwa Chief Justice of Nigeria àìtí mọ̀ ẹni tó pa ẹ bá ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ Tinubu pé ta ló pa Funsho Williams ẹ kò bá ń béèrè ní o torí ẹ mọ̀ ní kẹ́ twist ẹ o ìbéèrè ni because he was the governor of Lagos State ó yẹ kó ṣe inquiry ikú tó pa Funsho Williams that's all I'm asking o ẹ má wá lọ twist ọ̀rọ̀ mi o ẹ bá wa bi Tinubu pé ta ló pa Funsho Williams because as a sitting governor níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ó jẹ́ kóun lè ṣe inquiry pé ikú tó pa Funsho Williams bí akátẹ bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti bẹ̀ yẹn ikú tó pa bàbá wa Funsho Williams by now after years ó jẹ́ kó sì fún wa ní result kan ni mò ń kà fún yín nísìnyí o 2012 ni wọ́n ti pa arábìnrin máa sọ pé Nàìjíríà máa ṣiṣẹ́ fún wa àti family ẹ̀ ó dìgbà tó bá affect ẹ ló máa mọ̀ pé o ò sí nínú country à ń jáde lójoojúmọ́ à ń dára wa lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ à ń sọ bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ níwájú lọ́hùn lókè lọ́hùn kódà ní Côte d'Ivoire gan àfi ń ṣàpèjúwe ní Libya àfi ń ṣà Libya ò níjọba Àjàní Àjàlá àwọn ti faṣẹ́ lọ kò sí lórí ètò lára àwọn coordinator wọn ní Libya nìyẹn Kenny Bride mo kí gbogbo yín àwọn èèyàn wà ní Libya tó ń gbé ní Libya tí kò sí government méjì ló tá a bá ní kò sí government ó dà ń pa àwọn èèyàn understand nǹkan tó mean àwọn ará Libya tá ló wà ní Libya tó wà lórí ètò ẹ bá ń sọ pé mo wà lórí ètò Alájà Ìrànrí sọ pé don't mind them even who kill Naija self justice for Naija please Mohbad rest in peace don't mind them even who kill Naija self justice for Nigeria gan need justice ẹ gbọ́ mi yé ànẹ́bà ń bèè lọ́wọ́ Bọ́lá Tinubu pé ta ló pa Funsho Williams kí ló dé tí wọ́n ṣe inquiries láti fún wa ní ikú tó pa bàbá yẹn ẹ wá ṣe ń wá justice fún Mohbad Ọlọ́run jẹ́ rí justice o ẹ wá jókòó sórí TikTok àwọn yẹn tẹ́ pọ̀ lórí TikTok tẹ́ bá lọ síbẹ̀ wá máa deliberate ibẹ̀ ló máa ń pọ̀ sí jù ẹ rí wọn 400 wọ́n wá justice for Mohbad ẹ tí wá justice fúnra yín those in the hand of kidnappers now must have realized bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo ń pariwo lójoojúmọ́ ní bíbá ìyá mi Abọ́sẹ̀dé ìyá dáadáa wọ́n ní gbogbo ala need the justice we all need justice ẹ̀ ń wá justice èmi gan need the justice èmi gan tí mo wà ní London mo need the justice because Nigeria ti affect me nílùú yìí for 25 years because mo rẹ́ni defend mi nígbà tí mo ń ṣe immigration tó jẹ́ Nigeria government ṣé mo pé yẹ kí Nigeria máa defend wa pé ọmọ Nigeria ni wá ṣé mo wrong ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní UK 15 years ni mo fi ń bá wọn fà ìwé mi pé mo kàn fi gba status lọ́wọ́ wọn 15 years Peter Pan sọ pé if Nigeria fit steal the sun they go thief am pé tó bá lè jí òun wàá jí odidi òun ìwọ́ṣẹ̀ wa ń sọ pé justice for Mohbad ẹ wá jókòó síbẹ̀ ẹ wá ń ṣe deliberation ẹ fi pé deliberation ló máa fún yín ní justice kí gbogbo wa ká wà lórí ọwọ́ kan pé a fẹ́ justice fún gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ká lè tẹ̀síwájú because the making of Nigeria is wrong ibi tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nínú yẹn ẹ̀yin wá justice fún yàn kan àwa ń wá the whole justice for gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá ẹ wá ń waste time yín èyí tó yẹ kẹ́ máa promote Yorùbá nation ẹ wá sọ pé àwọn ti Sunday Igboho nìyẹn o I pity a lot of us 2012 ni olórí burúkú yìí ló pààyà bí ayàwó ẹ̀ ní bí a girlfriend ẹ̀ ní how many people like that have been killed in Nigeria? Have there been any inquiries? Have there been anything? Ṣé mọ̀ pé ibi tí wọ́n pa bàbá wa Funsho Williams kọ́lọ́n fọ́ọ̀nù kẹ́ bàbá yẹn. Ṣé mọ̀ pé tí a bá sì gbé forensic débẹ̀ wallahi ta'ala suma billahi lazila huwa inshallah lágbára ti Jésù Kristi ní tàwọn onílẹ̀ tá bá gbé proper forensic dé láti America láti UK tó bá wọnú ilé yẹn wá sì rí small tiny evidence tí wọ́n lè fi bẹ̀rẹ̀ case yẹn even after years science dùn mo wà ní program yẹn lánàá wọ́n ní ká máa encourage àwọn ọmọ wa kọ́ lọ máa ṣe àwọn kó má jẹ́ pé iṣẹ́ táwa tún ṣe nígbà táwa dé ìlú yìí Ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí irú àwọn ọmọ wa tún máa lọ ṣe irú iṣẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ àwọn ọmọ wa táwọn bí sí ìlú ìgbọ́dọ̀ máa ṣe iṣẹ́ bíi scientist engineer kò ń ṣe máa lọ fọbọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe fọbọ́ títí tó bá yé olúwa ẹ̀jẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá ń sọ fún mi pé Nàìjíríà máa da ìlú ìgan hold the ransom mi wọ́n delay but they cannot deny wọ́n delay ni ẹni tá bá bí sí ìlú tó bá dé ìlú kan tó ní paper láti fi ṣiṣẹ́ tó lè ṣe anything ó máa wà stranded wàá kọ́ máa wo bí nǹkan ṣe ń lọ ni. Ẹ mọ̀ pé ilé ìtajọ́ tá à ń ṣe nísìn ó yẹ kémi náà máa lọ máa wá bí ṣe máa make owó ni. Àwa jókòó ọdún 3 àwa ń sọ pé ìrírí ayé táwa ti rí nílùú yìí Ọlọ́run ní jẹ́ kẹ́yìn tún rí máa bọ̀ máa gbé London 1,009 ló máa san fún wọlé wọ́n bí bàbá ẹ̀ dá kó sọ pé òní lè san ìyá tó bí ẹ̀gàn wọ̀ bí dá ẹ má bínú pé mo lo èdè yẹn nílùú òyìnbó ò ní sanwó ná wá disconnected tó bá dé stage kan àfi tó bá láwọn ọmọ nílé ó tún ní preference but sórí wo tó ṣe ń dé ṣẹlẹ̀ ẹ̀ tẹ́ ṣe ń dé kò sí benefit kankan fẹ́yìn o bóun ẹ̀ kó bímọ 6 sílùú yìí gbogbo ajá máa jẹ breakfast ẹ máa bọ̀ ẹ má yẹ kí wọn kọ́kọ́ fúlù yín o pé má wàá sá abroad o ọmọ yín tó bá sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ fún wọn pé mo ní kọ́ ṣe kí ni kọ́ get out ẹjọ́ máa bọ̀ kájọ máa gbé nílùú yìí àní ká deal pẹ̀lú the making of Nigeria ká discontinue making yẹn because that making is having a big impact on our life èèyàn kú láti 2012 wọ́n padà rí solution sẹ́ni tó pa nígbà tó ọlọ́pàá sọ pé ó dá àwọn feel pé ẹni ló pa ẹni but wọ́n rí evidence no evidence wọ́n ní evidence àwa wá ń wá evidence ní church fún ẹni tó pààyàn àwọn evidence pẹ̀lú ìṣẹ̀ṣe àwọn evidence those are just the basic àkọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ lo the scientific one ta ló pa Funsho Williams ta ló pa Délé Gíwá ẹ wá ní ẹ̀hún wá justice for Mohbad olúkálùkù wá ń ṣe program lé lórí ẹ fi wá traffic mad people all over the place ẹ fi yẹn wá traffic àbí bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ ẹ máa tọ́ra yín ẹ fi ń pawó lórí social media ẹ wá ní àwa là ń scam àwa Yorùbá nation là ń scam àwa ti wo system yẹn àti wò lọ́tún àti wò lọ́sì àti mo bá lóye sọ̀rọ̀ lánàá I update him security situation every morning lóye wa ní coordinator nǹkan rẹ̀rẹ̀ ti rún nílùú yẹn and not everything that John discussed is for public consumption privilege ni bẹ́ẹ̀ ni kódà kó ní mò ń ṣe spokesman òun mọ́ àṣejọ wa alẹ́pa bíi ṣúgà ni ibi tó bá lọ ni mò ń tẹ̀lé lọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ni torí orúkọ ẹ̀ lásán ìjayà fún wọn nínú Nàìjíríà mo wá ń bẹ gbogbo ẹ̀yin ẹ̀gbọ́n wa ẹ̀yin tẹwà ní gbogbo agbègbè kankan ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ dákun ìjà máa bára wa jà ìjà àdúgbò yẹn ẹja jẹ kó tán lẹ̀ ní tó máa ń bá mi lẹ́rù máa ti mọ̀ àlékò nìyẹn mo ti sọ́rí any small thing ẹ máa fọ́gò ni gbogbo yẹn à ní ìdẹ̀mọ́ ẹ wá gúnra yín ẹ tí wá dé hospital kò sí treatment eventually some people died ẹlòmíì ò jẹ́ kó survive nígbà tẹ́ ti gun nígò yẹn but nígbà tẹ́ dé hospital yẹn ẹ̀yin ti wà wípé hospital yẹn wọ́n prepare fún anybody wọ́n prepare Akérédolú sálọ ló wà ní Germany ní sin kọ́lọ̀ fún lálàáfíà àní Nàìjíríà ò kì í ṣe country so ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí the making yẹn ibi tá à ń bá bọ̀ lánàá mo kàn try láti fẹ́ líǹkì ọ̀rọ̀ woman yìí kọ́ńdọ̀ má jẹ́ kó fi ọ̀rọ̀ wa ṣe story fraud ní Nàìjíríà àwọn tó create àwọn wá ń ṣe wàhálà pé ọmọ wọn tó bá pa àwọn máa wá justice fún ibi tó ti ń wá justice lélẹ́yìí o àwọn wá justice ní Nàìjíríà ìrọ̀lẹ́ ń pa fúnra yín ẹ lè rí justice mo sorry gan tó bá jẹ́ pé ọ̀rọ̀ bínú ni ẹ má bínú sí mi ẹ lè rí justice fún Mohbad ìrọ̀lẹ́ ń pa fúnra yín kò lè sí wà láìtàláì mo sọ kò lè sí justice fún until tí a bá Yorùbá wuyì ìyá dáadáa ó gbórí wọlé àbọ̀ nǹkan ìyá mi náà ni Yorùbá ti rí Yorùbá wuyì ìyá mi mo fi wọ́n níjọ́ kan mo ní ṣe ti gbé láàrin àwọn boys rí ní Nàìjíríà ní bẹ́ẹ̀ máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ nígbà tó bá sọ̀rọ̀ báyìí nígbà máa pa ṣọkùnrin ni ìyá ẹ̀ ní àbọ̀bìnrin Ọlọ́run bá wà pẹ̀lú yín ẹ bá ń ká àwọn ọmọ àti baálé àná wá justice mo lè fẹ́ gbogbo wa ò lè rí justice àfi tá a bá kúrò ní Nàìjíríà ìyá Yorùbá wuyì mo ti rí wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni àbíjọ́ tẹ pè mí tí mo ní àwọn ohun kan tẹ máa ń jù lẹ́yìn lọ́wọ́ sọ fún mi pé kí ni àjọ wà láàrin wọn níbẹ̀ ní lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ìyá yẹn Yorùbá wuyì gbogbo ala ní different style bẹ́ẹ̀ ni ọ̀kan tó ń bi mí pé Koiki òun ní Funsho Williams báwa sọ ta ló pa Bọ́lá Ìgè a máa bí Ọbásanjọ́ bàbá Ọbásanjọ́ la máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ mo kí ìyàwó Táíwò kíkẹ́ Yorùbá wuyì bàbá mi fáwọn kí ní bíbà ìyá yẹn Ọlọ́run bá ń ṣàánú ẹ̀ Yorùbá wuyì àná wá justice. Àwọn ibi tá ti lè rí justice lélẹ̀ 2012 lọ́pàá woman wọ́n wá set up èèyàn kan tó lọ gbé ní 400 àbí bá lọ ṣe pé òyìnbó yẹn tó òyìnbó burú gan. A policeman moved to a flat 300 yards. Nígbà tí yàn bá dẹ̀ ń gbé lẹ́gbẹ̀ẹ́ tó bá yá á ní can I help you to take the water upstairs? Ọmọ ìgbà mi ti bá tèmi bá travel tí ìyàwó mi bá lọ ra omi neighbor lè ní let's help you to lift it up. Ó wọlé sí lára díẹ̀díẹ̀ nìyẹn. Yorùbá wo iná òun kí gbogbo lé pẹ káàbọ̀ sórí ètò. Ibi tá ti lè àwọn 2012 náà lọ ti pa woman yìí o. Ẹ wá wò ní 2023 wọ́n padà rí justice fún. Ẹ mọ̀ kan máa gbàgbé nǹkan ṣá. Brother wa kan wọ́n náà ń jog ní Nàìjíríà wọ́n tọ̀bẹ bọ̀ lára àmọ́ ẹni tó tọ̀bẹ bọ̀ lára. It was I think sometime last year be the year before ní 2021 vice chairman kẹ̀kẹ́ márúwá ẹjọ́ yín tó bá rántí àdúgbò yẹn wọ́n ní ọmọ málà kan bí Fúlàní ní àkókò dá wọn mọ̀ nígbà tá à ní identity wọ́n náà tọ̀bẹ bọ̀ lára. He died. He's a vice chairman or deputy chairman of Keke Marua somewhere in Lagos State. Ni incident yẹn ti ṣẹlẹ̀. Táwa Yorùbá bá tẹ̀ ń para wa. Ṣó yẹ kí àwọn gàmbàrí kó wọnú ilé kó pa wá kó dẹ̀ jáde ká má dẹ̀ rí justice for anybody. Àwa náà wá justice fún Mohbad. We all live in denial. Ẹ já sọ̀rọ̀ nípa the making of Nigeria. Báwo ló ṣe make Nigeria go àti pé ṣó possible pé ìtìyàn bá make kódà bó bá marry gan tó bá dé stage kan tí kìíní yẹn bá di pé kò fẹ́ work kàkà kẹ́ para yín kólúkálukú ṣe kíni kólú àkọ́kọ́ kẹ̀yà máa wúra yín lókèrè because ìyá mi Yorùbá wuyi ní ta ló pa Délé Gíwá ṣé mọ̀ pé ti Délé Gíwá yẹn bàbá wa yẹn ó sì máa ń fọ́ mi lórí nígbà pé as at that time so n tó ń pè ní letter bomb ti wà kíyàn ṣe kíní kan kó dé explode ọmọ àwọn tó design kíní yẹn ẹ ti mọ̀ pé ilé ayé is a wicked world àwa ṣe wà ń wá because breaking away from Nigeria kò ní easy that is the reason why ká máa push effort títí tó máa fi yé more people nílé ní anything against Tinubu gbogbo gbà ń sọ every time ni mo sọ fún yín ẹ̀yin wo future kékeré àwa tí ń wo future ńlá ẹ wo bí tí mo lọ lánàá nísìn black UK black business guide ó yẹ kí n máa rí Yorùbá ẹ mọ̀ káwọ̀ ní pé black mọ̀ Yorùbá people business guide kémi wá máa polongo fún ìwọ tó wà nílé bó jẹ́ wóróbo ló ń tà wà á ti ṣe sínú bàbá 40 years la ilé ti fi exist bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ṣe ń bẹ polówó ẹ̀ ìyá mi Yorùbá wuya máa polówó ẹ̀ ọmọ èmi ò lè bá yín polówó ẹni tí Nàìjíríà because mo lè authenticate mo sorry èyí tí bá máa polongo á jẹ́ pé mo fẹ́ accept responsibility pé tó bá go wrong ẹ hold me responsible fún èèyàn mélòó mo fẹ́ máa ṣe yẹn fún ìlú tí mo lè Yorùbá wuyi ti wá sórí YouTube kí wọ́n lè bá kí gbogbo yín dáadáa náà ni tó lórí Facebook lọ tí wọ́n wà tẹ́lẹ̀ ẹ ṣé gan ni tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa mo dẹ̀ kí gbogbo àwọn medias wa náà tó olúkálùkù wa ń ṣiṣẹ́ takuntakun in our different ways to enlighten our people. Bára wa jà. Ọ̀rọ̀ àgbọ́yé ni, ṣó yẹ kò yé mi, Koiki ṣàlàyé fún mi, tó bá bú ìyá mi máa bú bàbá ẹ̀. Bàbá dẹ̀ pàdé lójú títì, tó bá lè gbà mí lẹ́sẹ̀ nílùú yìí, èmi ò ní gbẹ lẹ́sẹ̀, máa sú ẹni. But mo dúpẹ́ pé gbogbo àwọn tá à ń pàdé, tá à ń ríra, àwọn Koiki ẹ ṣé gan ni sà. Èmi náà dẹ̀ gbà wọ́n lọ́wọ́ dáadáa. Àwọn mẹ́rin ni mo pàdé lánàá. 2 nínú boss. Now, à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa British colony lánàá. Wọ́n ti fìyà jẹ wá. Kọ́lọ̀ má jà rí ìyà mọ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. But ọ̀nà tá a fi ní rí ìyà mọ́, òun náà là ń polongo lójoojúmọ́ níwọ̀n bá ta lè ṣe. Mo kí bàbá wa Ọlánrewájú Adédípé. Òun náà ni gbogbo Yorùbá yẹn ò dá lẹ́nu dáadáa. Ó jẹ́ Yorùbá wuyè nísìn àwọn máa kà dáadáa. Nígbà tó yẹ pé olú ẹ̀ Yorùbá mo jíwèé wò títí ni nígbà tá à ń ṣe Yorùbá ní school kọ́nà bá ń fọ̀run kẹ́gbẹ́ngà ó ti kú nísìn anẹ́yìn ọmọ ẹ̀kọ́ ògbọ́ Yorùbá mi ní kí ni ẹni ṣe pẹ̀lú wọ àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ kíní wá ká wóra wọn síra wọn jàre ìyẹn ni kò máa wá káàkiri ìyá mi Ìyábọ̀ Olúbòmí mo kí yín ẹ̀wọ̀n pàwọn ọmọ Èkó ó náà gbọ́ Yorùbá bọ̀ àwọn ọmọ Èkó kan gbọ́ Yorùbá àtọ́dẹ̀ lè kọ́ bí àwọn tó lọ sí public school mo kí pàdé mi dáadáa ọ̀rẹ́ mi àtàtà Késo studio mo ti rí orí ìyá mi ti gbórí wọlé ó ṣe máa jí ni gbogbo àwọn ìyá yẹn láti fi sí àti fi wọn sórí eré tí ìyá mi bá gbọ́ tèmi tán á gbọ́ ti Yorùbá wò ìyá gbọ́ ti Ìdára gbọ́ ti Ọmọlúkà wọ́n ṣe ń káàkiri ní gbogbo wọn náà ni àwọn ìyá wa àti hold yín báyìí Késo studio yẹn àjọ lọ sí school ni but láǹtóró lọ́lọ́ jòun sí kò ráyè wọlé sí Abẹ́òkúta grammar school wọ́n ṣòjòrò fún pilot ní bàbá ẹ̀ nígbà tí Nigerian Airways wà láyé bọ̀bọ̀ tẹ̀ ń rí yẹn ẹni tó ní Késo studio yẹn ó draw ju kí ló yà lẹ̀ lọ ìlú ìlú wa pé mo máa kọ́kọ́ mọ̀yàn nígbà tí mo dé Abẹ́òkúta òun ni mo kọ́kọ́ mọ̀ wàláì ó kọ́ yẹ pé wọ́n kò ráyè wọlé sí Abẹ́òkúta grammar school láǹtóró high school lọ́jọ́ lọ níjọ́ náà lọ kàzó rántí àwọn tó máa ń tẹja dídí yẹn àṣejọ́ yẹn gan ṣẹ̀wò táìmù yẹn gan a máa ń ra àwọn málà kọ̀ọ̀kan bóyá Fúlàní tẹ̀mí wọn àwọn ìyá yẹn máa ń roast ẹja yẹn ẹja Titus kí ni kàn mí pẹ̀lú Kànúkù má gbé ọ̀rọ̀ Kànúkù wá sí má gbà sí fún Kànúkù kọ́ Kànúkù ni ṣé mo sọ fún ẹ pé mo wà nínú Nigerian community àwọn èèyàn mi ló wà ń bẹ̀ èmi ò sí nínú Nigerian community mọ́ Kànúkù is the Central Association of Nigerians in UK ẹ̀yin lẹ́sìn báwọn ṣe mi ò báwọn ṣe sí tó kàn mí pẹ̀lú Kànúkù ẹ̀gbọ́n mi dáadáa ló wà níbẹ̀ president wọn nísìn chairman wọn rather kí lórúkọ wọn gan sẹ́ẹ̀ lórúkọ ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn a ti pàdé ní Lagos State Union now àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó wà bẹ́ẹ̀ àbára wájà bọ̀ èmi kàn ní kankan ṣe pẹ̀lú Kànúkù ọ̀rọ̀ Kànúkù mo gbé dání nísìn Kànúkù kọ́ Kànúkù ni a ní ká sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation àwọn sọ̀rọ̀ Yorùbá nation pẹ̀lú Kànúkù now ẹ jẹ́ ká wá sórí the British Empire ìyẹn là ń bá bọ̀ lóru àná ẹni tó bá ti wo program tàná ẹ máa pick up along the line nísìn à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa empire yẹ Ayọ̀ Akínfẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn tẹ́ bá lọ sórí Instagram page wọn látijọ́ tí mo ti mọ̀ wọ́n 10 bullet point tó máa ń kọ síta tó bá jẹ́ pé Jonathan múnú ẹ̀ kó lo ìdajì nínú 10 yẹn àti wà níbì kan Nàìjíríà nísìn Jonathan ṣe tiẹ̀ ó jẹun yánnyán mama patient ẹni tó máa lówó láàrin wọn lówó sireno ó wà lórí social media nísìn a máa sọ pé yẹn tó bá fẹ́ ní business ó ti gbàgbé pé òun gba owó gidi lọ́wọ́ Jonathan tóun fi lówó àwa máa níyẹn to become rich ẹ lọ sórí page reno ní sí oríṣiríṣi jàgbàjàgbà ló ń kọ káàkiri nígbà tó ti lówó lọ́wọ́ Jonathan the same thing pẹ̀lú bàbá ẹlẹ́nu yamayama yẹn tó máa ń sọ̀rọ̀ against Yorùbá nation tó pè rẹ̀ ní Dr. Ruben Abati àbí kí ló ń jẹ́ gbogbo wọn ti jẹun lábẹ́ Jonathan ó wá lọ jókòó nísìn ó ń ṣe political analyst the same thing pẹ̀lú èyí tó ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ tán pẹ̀lú shortman devil tó ń pè rẹ̀ ní Yẹmí Ọ̀sínbàjò ìyẹn spokesman ẹ̀ àbí whatever ẹ̀rọ mi lórúkọ ẹ̀ mo rí lọ́dọ̀ Ṣeun Ọ̀kínbalóyè níjọ́ òní tó náà ó ti wọ native padà ló ń ṣe political analysis wàá máa ṣe analysis òṣì kí ni Ọ̀sínbàjò ṣe sí Rẹ́mọ ẹ̀yàn ọmọ Rẹ́mọ kí ni Ọ̀sínbàjò ṣe síbẹ̀ a ní ká béèrè pé the making of Nigeria ó wrong the making yẹn la gbọ́dọ̀ decide ní sí pé ṣàfẹ́ continue pẹ̀lú bó ṣe making Nigeria nìkan lánàá a lọ béèrè lọ́wọ́ Google pé kí náà tíyàn bá fẹ́ sọ pé èèyàn fẹ́ ok Vaseline mo fi ń pètè nísìn kò lè jẹ́ Vaseline lákọ̀ọ́kọ́ èyí tẹ́ bá mọ̀ nípa petrochemical ẹ bá máa kọ́ síbẹ̀ kí ló máa kọ́kọ́ ṣe kó tó di pé Koiki wá ra Vaseline yìí ní store ó dà kó tẹ̀ ti di £1 nísìn ó ti wọ́n gbogbo nǹkan náà ló lọ sókè kó tó di Vaseline nǹkan kan ló fi kọ́kọ́ bẹ̀rẹ̀ tí wọ́n bá dẹ̀ get it right kí ni tí mo fi ń pẹ̀tẹ̀ tó bá di pé mo lò tó di pé ètè mi ló ń wú bí ẹni tó jẹ pọ̀nmọ́ Nàìjíríà mo ti mọ̀ pé èèyàn máa jẹ pọ̀nmọ́ wà tún máa gbolé níjọ́ tí máa ń lọlé nígbà yẹn ó níbi kan tó máa ń gbé mi lọ wàá jẹ pọ̀nmọ́ aláta tó bá wá jẹ tán wàá máa gbolé mo mọ lọ́jíìkì yẹn kí ni mo fẹ́ fẹ́ràn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pé àwọn British Empire mo máa ń like tí bá ti fi sọ̀rọ̀ ọ̀rọ̀ ilé ayé mo máa ń like máa fíìlì máàpù mi the British Empire was a very big empire níjọ́ náà long 200 years ló fi run ilé ayé gbogbo ibi tó lò but pẹ̀lú ìbọn àti wàhálà ló fi gba ibi tó gbà a ti sọ fún wa rí the British Empire tá à ń sọ yìí náà the British Empire àwọn obo ni wọ́n lò tó fi di pé wọ́n dé empire àti pé ṣé Nàìjíríà wà lára ibi tó lò kí ló dé tí Nàìjíríà fi wá di ibi tó lò ẹ farabalẹ̀, kẹ́ take note. Colonial Nigeria. Colonial Nigeria. Colonial, because only lẹ́yìn. Colonial Nigeria. Òyìnbó, ó pọ̀ jù. Bùkẹ́ tẹ́ darapọ̀ mọ́ wa. Colonial Nigeria was ruled by the British Empire from the mid-19th century until 1960. Ẹlòmíì ò gbọ́ lè rí, ẹlòmíì ò understand it. Ó kàn gbọ́ pé wọ́n fún wa ní independent. Tí ìyàn kan dẹ̀ correct me, which I think I need to rectify. Because, you know, paper gan, one man ṣe rectification, correction, only Metro newspaper, correction and clarification. Lánàá tá ṣe program, mo ní wọ́n ti bí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ nígbà tí wọ́n ṣe 1914 amalgamation. Ìyàn kan wá send message pé no, wọ́n ti bí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀, but he was 5 years old. And I think let's first clarify that. So, Baba Awólọ́wọ̀, Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀, when was he born? Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀, not university. Baba yẹn gangan. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo history bàbá díẹ̀. Baba was born on the 6th of March, 1909. So, yes, ẹni yẹn right. So, ìtẹ́mi fi sọ pé wọ́n ti bí wọn before 1914. It was wrong. What ti bí Baba Awólọ́wọ̀, but Baba Awólọ́wọ̀ was 5 years old. So that is what they call clarification. 6th of March. Yes, just reason. Metro no man she mistake. Correction and clarification. Metro strive for complete accuracy, but mistake do sometimes slip in. If you spot anything, please email musakalam@gmail.com or info@koikimedia.com with the article and date as the subject. So mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹni tó spot ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn nínú comment section tí mo kà láàárọ̀ yìí pé Koiki ó dà pé ibẹ̀ yẹn wrong. Wọ́n ti bí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ and wọ́n ní àwọn grandchildren. Ṣẹ́gun Awólọ́wọ̀ ẹ̀rù pé Ṣẹ́gun Awólọ́wọ̀ ó ń jẹ́ tọ̀ìtọ̀ pẹ̀lú government nísìnyí. Kíní kan pẹ̀lú Yorùbá nation. Àwọn tó yẹ kó máa fight Yorùbá nation on our behalf nìyẹn. But they careless. Àwọn ọmọ wọn gbádùn, àwọn grandchildren gbádùn because Nigeria ti favour àwọn. Ẹni tí Nigeria bá dẹ̀ ń favour lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́. The making of Nigeria. So, and he died, on the 9th of May, 1987, ní ìlú Ìkẹ́nnẹ́. Yes, BBC also makes too many mistakes as well. So, we are not perfect. So sometimes, we say things, if you spot it, let me know. If I come back out, I will do, clarification on that. So we come back to Baba Awólọ́wọ̀. But we know that he co-founded the organization called the Action Group, tí gbogbo àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tá believe lé lórí, and the Unity Party of Nigeria, ẹgbẹ́ ọmọ Odùduwà. Ṣé ẹgbẹ́ yẹn nísìn ṣó sì ń represent wa àbí gbogbo àwọn politicians yìí? Waristeni, we don't have the actual vital birth records. Ṣé ti Baba Awólọ́wọ̀ lẹ́ ń sọ or what? I don't know. I'm clarifying there. So anyway, we know that the late legend Ọbáfẹ́mi Awólọ́wọ̀ was born on the 6th of March, 1909. But what we are discussing this morning or this afternoon, ní aago kan fẹ́ lọ lù 5 minutes before, àwọn tó wà l'Amẹ́ríkà ṣe ń tají ni, on lọ bíṣẹ́, on lọ drop ọmọ sí school. Wọ́n àtẹ̀yìntẹ̀ wà Nàìjíríà ẹ wà ní 2 o'clock. Ní Japan, àwọn ti fẹ́ lọ sùn, tó bá tẹ̀ ti wà lójú ọrùn. Ní Australia, àwọn ti wà ní midnight. Now, let's come back to this British colonial time. Ṣé Britain or this empire nígbà tó dé, ṣé wọ́n bá àwọn èèyàn nígbà tó dé? Yes or no? Ẹ bá fi sínú comment section. Nígbà tí wọ́n dé yẹn, ṣé màálù nìkan ló bá wọ̀ rí àwọn èèyàn? Ṣó sọ fún wọn pé àìtí exist. Mo sọ fún yín pé sculpture tẹ́ wò lẹ́yìn mi ó wà lọ́wọ́ ọlọ́pàá, èmi make inquiry because mo sọ fún wọn pé sculpture yìí 1000 years old ni ó ju Nàìjíríà lọ. Ẹ wá ní ká abandon gbogbo yẹn ká wá fix Nàìjíríà. Mo sọ nínú program kan náà, ta ló fẹ́ save Nàìjíríà? Bíyá olórin tó jí gbé nísìn, mo bẹ̀ Olódùmarè kó bá àwọn onílẹ̀ kó wá bó ṣe máa bá wa ṣe. Jésù Kristi, Ànábì Muhammad kó tú wọn sílẹ̀. Bí a tó bá jáde, a wá kan orin Yorùbá nation fún wa pé Koiki mo dúpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ yín. Èmi ò gbọ́rin ẹ̀rí, mo rírí. but mo fún ní free conversation lánàá láti bá pariwo síta pé wọ́n ti jí ọmọ Yorùbá kan gbé o, but àwọn gbádùn now, àwọn gbádùn because okay in his own little bit ó ti gbàgbé pé danger wà nísàlẹ̀. Because if they were able to kidnap 14 people, that means pé coastal bus kan lọ gbé lọ. So wọ́n kọ́ stop there. Nígbà tó bá ti yìnbọn sókè pàpàpàpàpà ìwà àwọn mọ́tò tó kù máa tẹ̀ bírèkì ni. So àwọn yẹn náà kẹ̀rẹ́ first chance ló máa ń lò ẹni tó bá kọ́kọ́ kidnap náà ni. So for them to have been able to kidnap 14 people is a big danger. Bàbá wa Adébánjọ ni we exist with clothes before the colonial came to our land. A ti ń waṣọ sí nínú wòwò mọ́. Ṣé mọ̀ pé inú wòwò la wà nísìnyí, ẹ má bínú. I'm not talking about bá ṣe ń dress o. Literally, àwọn olóṣèlú ti rape wa débi, wọ́n ti rape wa débi pé ẹlòmíì wọṣọ. Àníṣe èmi ò mọ̀ bí àwọn tó bá ń lọlé bí àìmì nìkan ni máa ń filẹ̀ nígbà tí mo ṣe ń lọlé kàtẹ́ tó bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá Nation. Mo máa ń béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn yẹn pé ṣé ẹni yìí sick ni? And Mr. Koiki kí ló dé? Ẹ̀yin bó ṣe ń wò. Ẹ wo ojú ẹ̀ tí kò wọnú, ẹ wo gbá rẹ̀. Wọ́n ní kò sick. Bí Nàìjíríà ṣe ṣe wá nìyẹn. We are people. Wọ́n náà ṣì wà up Koiki o táwọn owó mi ní Japan. Kí ni táwọn ìwé ní Japan? Àwọn èèyàn wà ní Japan. Ẹ̀gbọ́n mi kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín. Wọ́n náà ṣì wà up bẹ́ẹ̀ tí wà ní very okay. Ẹ ti ń lọ sí midnight if I'm right. Kí ni time ní Japan nísìn? Màá fẹ́ kẹ́yìn bá mi sọ ìbẹ̀lẹ̀ yìí wà. Èmi náà lè check ẹ̀. Japan àwọn òdú dáadáa kọ́lọ̀ ń jẹ́ lè dé lóyún ìdèdè. Ẹ ti gbọ́ èdè gan-an. Almost 10 o'clock ló wà ní Japan, Tokyo. Yeah, 21:58 p.m. How long lẹ ti wà ní Japan, sir? Àwọn ìlú nìyẹn. Ọmọ Yorùbá. Bí ẹrú àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n yẹn, ẹ bá mi ṣe fídíò kékeré ẹjọ́ kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ bá mi ṣe líálọ́la ẹ bá ti jáde, sir. Just 1 minute video kẹ́kọ̀ọ́ ní Koiki bó ṣe sọ mo bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe o kẹ́ wá send ẹ̀ sí mi lórí WhatsApp kí n upload ẹ̀ sórí Koiki Media Facebook page, YouTube. Káwọn èèyàn rí bí Japan ṣe bí London ni mo fi ń wọ̀nyí ẹ lọ wo Japan wọn ní ṣe ń gbá ní resources kí ló ń ṣe kí là ń bẹ̀rù fún gangan sẹ̀ à ń bẹ̀rù pé tàbá débi tá à ń lọ a máa bára wa jà à ní gbọ́ síra wa lẹ́nu a máa ní no ṣé eléyìí táyà sí kúrò ṣé ìbára yín jà ní ilé ayé nìyẹn tàbá débi tá à ń lọ gan sẹ̀ a lè lagi mọ́ra wa lórí a máa kóra wa dé police station ni o torí ní ìlú yìí tó bá lagi mọ́ mi lórí tèmi náà bá lagi mọ́ ẹ lórí police station la máa jọ dé o. Bàbá mi Olúwa Tọ́lá Adébánjọ ni Yorùbá nation is the only solution. Yorùbá nation no going back, no retreat, no surrender. Gbogbo yẹn ó wà. Ẹ ti di baálẹ̀ ní Japan nìyẹn 35 years tó ti bá máa wá gan sef. Màá gba reference lọ́wọ́ yín. Because tó bá gbé ìlú kan fún 35 years, èèyàn lè gba reference lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀. Kábíyèsí Elédùmarè o. Èmi náà tí mo pariwo, èmi náà ti lò 25 years nílùú yìí. Now ìjọ la fi padà lọ́lé. Èyí tẹ́ wá lé ẹ farabalẹ̀ kẹ́gbọ́n tá à ń sọ. Eléyìí ò ń sọ̀rọ̀ ìjà. Yes, Koiki, but bẹ́ẹ̀ ṣe ń sọ yẹn bí ìgbà tẹ́ fẹ́ báyàn jà ní talẹ̀ fẹ́ ọmọ Yorùbá mo fẹ́ bá jà. Ìbẹ́ rò ká máa kó mọ́ síta ìbọn tá à ní. Because expectation ni pé nígbà tí mo ní àníṣe election nílẹ̀ Yorùbá o àníṣe àwọn politicians they become very concerned. And I'm not joking. They were making all kind of I came in attend to the course. Why couldn't you visit? It's ready. Oh my God. Oh, what a wrong. I'm going to law school on my day. Talk on your ballet, Nigeria. So, Ben, even if it's just 1 minute, Koiki Media, Koiki Media. Koiki Media. Òun rèé o. Ṣé rí lótìtọ́ we don't expect everybody to agree we can lọ. Àwọn kan ní Koiki, yes, tá bá máa lọ náà ẹ jẹ́ kó jẹ́ process. Process náà làwọn bàbá Akíntóyè ti ń ṣe bọ̀. Process náà àwọn bàbá Páyọ̀ Adébánjọ ti ń ṣe bọ̀. Èmi láǹfààní pẹ̀lú olóyè Ìgbòho. We sat down. Baba Adébánjọ is very strong as well. Ọlọ́run mọ kúnkúṣì táwọn bàbá yẹn ti jẹ nígbà tó wà kékeré. Body wọn sì even though he's 95, mo rántí the very first day mo mọ̀ bí wọ́n ti sọ ilé rí nígbà táwọn kọ́ lọ síbẹ̀ lẹ́kọ̀ọ́ làbá débẹ̀ ẹ̀hàn kò lóye kẹ̀rí pẹ̀lú oríṣiríṣi àwọn tájọ́ máa ń lọ làbá débẹ̀ lọ́ba ní Mr. Kẹ́hìndé ma ní kí n send account number lánàá máa ti gbàgbé aláì Ọlọ́run kó ṣàánú mi bọ̀ máa rántí send later bá ṣe wọlé bàbá yẹn ní èrò ìgbà yẹn dẹ̀ rí covid ṣe èrò ti pọ̀jù èrò ìgbowó kí ló dé ẹ jẹ́ kó bọ́tà ní kó bọ́tà ní gbogbo àwọn eruku bá bọ́tà ló bá kó ìmọ̀ àti olóyè ilé iná wọn bọ̀ nígbò ní coordinator mi nìyẹn not like that you know Koiki bàbá yẹn ní Koiki ẹ̀mọ̀ pé bàbá yẹn ti ń gbọ́rùn mi tipẹ́tipẹ́ bó ṣe ní máa bọ̀ jókòó tí mi jókòó mọ́ dáadáa mọ́ mi ní bá dọ̀bálẹ̀ ní bá kírun kọ́nà fọ́run kẹ́ ẹ̀gbọ́n wa Yínká Odòmẹ́kun bàbá náà ṣe rice àwa náà wò jẹun wọn náà jẹun ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Yínká Odòmẹ́kun èmi máa jẹun tèmi o you know I have the picture náà kí mo ti upload ẹ̀ rí kọ́nà fọ́run kẹ́ bàbá yẹn kí ló ń ṣàwọn ọmọ Yorùbá kí la fẹ́ ẹ já padà sí during this colonial era àwọn cherry program tí mo lọ lánàá mo mọ̀ pọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ wo fídíò yẹn mo bẹ̀ yẹn lọ tún wò àwọn ọ̀rọ̀ kan jáde níbẹ̀ pé àwọn òyìnbó tẹ̀ máa ń rò pé àwọn ṣe favour fáwa ṣe mọ̀ pé every little thing ẹ jẹ́ n fi owó ṣe example kó lè yé wa this is what they are doing for us àwa èèyàn dúdú tẹ́lẹ̀dùmarè dá àwa di ẹni tí wọ́n máa ní give them money àwọn ẹ̀gbọ́n mi tó ń gbé ní Japan 35 years èyí tẹ́ ń gbé l'Amẹ́ríkà èyí tẹ́ wà ní African country èyí tẹ́ mi náà wà ní Europe àwa là ń contribute sínú system yìí financially with our brain power ẹ wo woman ní ọmọ Biafra yẹn àbí Igbo doctor ta sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ lánàá so what we are saying is that ìyá yẹn wá sọ pé àwọn òyìnbó yìí feel pé every little thing wọ́n máa ní owó ni ẹ fún wọn lówó. And that's why they have all these nonsense NGO káàkiri ẹ má bínú fún èdè yẹn but at the end of the day you know I need any NGO kankan ìmọ́lẹ̀ Yorùbá mo kẹ́ nílẹ̀ Yorùbá a ní ntọ́ ẹ̀kọ́ ẹ pé àwa ló ẹ̀ ká máa lọ set up NGO sí other African countries wọ́n wá kó NGO rẹpẹtẹ wá wọ́n dẹ̀ níbi tí yàn bá ti ń ṣe ló ti ń jẹ ẹja padà sórí buffet stick sórí colonial period yìí and I'm reading from what I have on the Google. But you will go and consider. And then let's update our phones. Anyway, what we do is we can take a short break and we come back. At 2 hours. So about 3 hours. Man stop. Man lo 1 break. Eba Shadura fun Baba Yínká Odòmẹ́kun. He never met his twins. Ema kuya wọ́n padà bí ìbejì. Ikuyan do mi gan. And it is sort of Koiki akun. You know, call on phone can. Àwọn bàbá rẹ̀ bá ń jọ yẹn mo mọ̀ tó ti jẹ gbogbo àwọn bàbá yẹn 95 kúnkú shit ó ti kó fún wọn láti kékeré ó dúró tamtam ni. Yorùbá we ni they all watch us, they love what we are doing, but they love the money and the power most. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Àwọn West, they know what they are doing. So let's read quickly. Baba Tony sọ only in this country that I see an American overstay. Ní Japan, American overstay ke. Yorùbá we ṣe ń gbọ́. Wọ́n ní Japan, American overstay. Baby náà ṣe overstay nílùú yìí. Bẹ́ẹ̀ni. Overstay ni. Nígbà tí mo dé 98 mo ní mo lọ mọ́ 25 years a ṣe wà ní bíbá ìkọ́nà kó ṣàánú. Ìwọ tó náà fẹ́ dé mo bẹ̀ Ọlọ́run fún ẹ pé kó fún ẹ visa máa bọ̀ tó bá dé America wàá ṣiṣẹ́ dáadáa bí Yorùbá wuyì àwa lọ ra Mercedes mo like Mercedes Yorùbá wuyì ìyá mi dáadáa ìyá tó ń ṣiṣẹ́ tó bá wá sí UK wàá faṣẹ́ dáadáa but that's tó bá ní working visa ni o má fi visitor visa wá kó wá sọ pé òun wá ṣe o àwọn kan wà bẹ́ẹ̀ ni wọ́n máa rape tọ́ ọlọ́pàá bá dẹ̀ kó gbogbo yín police station ni o dẹ̀ ń lọ síbo o ń lọ sí detention camp. Anyway, let's come back quickly because we have just 1 hour to present what we called Elenisi Elekaka. And I'm not going to read any comment now. I just want to read this and I want us to learn from it and see níbo ni mistake ti wá and how can we correct that mistake. Òun la fẹ́ sọ̀rọ̀ nísìn. Colonial Nigeria. Colonial Nigeria was ruled by the British Empire. Kí ló ń pè ní British Empire? The British Empire comprised the dominions, colonies, protectorate, mandate, and other territories ruled or administered by the United Kingdom and its predecessors. It began with the overseas possession and the trading post that was established by England in the late 16th and the early 17th centuries. By the mid-19th century, ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ understand ibẹ̀ yẹn kò ṣe pé torí èmi náà mọ̀ tẹ́lẹ̀ kí ló ń pè ní 21st century a ti wà ní 21st century nísìn but ní ìgbà kan rí bí bàbá Akíntóyè fi jẹ́ kó tó wa létí tó o bá mọ̀ lọ sórí Yorùbá the history of the Yoruba people àwa ti wà in existence kó tó di pa àwọn òyìnbó yẹn dé. And nígbà táwọn sọ̀rọ̀ 19th century yẹn mean pé it is literally that period of time náà ni wọ́n fi ṣe tán pè ní the amalgamation. But before the 19th century wọ́n wá gẹ́gẹ́ bí ọ̀rẹ́ báwa náà ṣe ń lọ sí Japan bí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi ṣe sọ pé Amẹ́ríkà nìkan làwọn kọ́kọ́ máa rí láyé táwọn ti ń gbé ní Japan tó overstay á jẹ́ pé ó ń gbádùn Japan nìyẹn kò jẹ́ pé Amẹ́ríkà ò dùn. So right now the Òyìnbó people tó dé we welcome them just like I say welcome àwọn ẹ̀yà tó kù náà. But they took advantage of us with the help of the indigenous people. Èmi ti mo máa ń sọ mo ti dé slave museum rí ó máa wà l'Amẹ́ríkà náà káàkiri ló máa ń wà. When you go there èyí máa béèrè pé mo rí mirror mo rí shinap mo wá ń bi àwọn tó wà ń bẹ̀ pé iṣẹ́ ò lè ṣe wọ́n ní nǹkan táwọn òyìnbó fáwọn bàbá wa níjọ́ náà lọ́ọ̀nì mo ní wọ́n fún wa ní mirror ló wà wájú lé mi nísìn kí ló dé tẹ́wọ̀n bàbá yẹn ò ṣe sùúrù a sì máa padà rí jígí. We told them a lot of things. A gbé àṣírí tó pọ̀ láwọn òyìnbó lọ́wọ́. Ara ń ro mí o ara ń ro yín kẹ̀ iṣẹ́ yẹn ni ọlọ́run bá fún yín lálàáfíà ẹ máa slow down díẹ̀ ni kò easy. You know what we gave fáwọn òyìnbó yìí púpọ̀ nínú ẹ̀ lọ lò títí di wákàtí and you can go on and on. Ẹ lọ wo irú ẹ mọ̀ pé gbogbo nǹkan ní ilé ayé numbers lọ fi ṣe. Àwọn Amẹ́ríkà máa ń pè ní national insurance number náà ni. Amẹ́ríkà máa ń pè ní social security number mo mọ̀ tán pè ní Japan àmọ́ tán pè ti Nàìjíríà nìkan ni kò ní number. Now tá bá lọ wo background history le Yorùbá a rí pé numbers gangan ni wọ́n fi ń ṣe calculation fáwọn tó mọ Ifá ọ̀rọ̀ mi yẹn nísìn àwa ti gbé ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ nǹkan lé àwọn òyìnbó lọ́wọ́ ní ìgbà ìjọ náà lọ́hùn-ún with the hope pé ọ̀rẹ́ ni wá àṣé wọ́n kì í ṣe ọ̀rẹ́ wa ọ̀tá ló jẹ́ fún wa lóòótọ́ ilé ayé ó ti sún díẹ̀ síwájú but ẹni tó kàn ló mọ̀ ni. So we gave them so much information during gbogbo time tó ń gbé pẹ̀lú wa because báwo làwọn èèyàn ṣe build intanwo ni wa ní ẹ̀yìn mi tá à ń pè ní sculpture yìí which is currently held by the British police ìkànnú ẹ̀ ni mo sọ. We literally gave too much information during that time. Àwa bí ìwárí sí lọ́sọ̀ àti ní civilization. Àdẹ̀wọ̀ pátá aṣọ gidi là ń wọ̀ especially àwa Yorùbá and we are very very proud people because à ń gba ìdọ̀tí rárá ìdọ̀tí náà làwọn ń gbà nísìn nínú Nàìjíríà mo wá ń béèrè pé ta ló fẹ́ save Nàìjíríà àti pé ta lẹ́yìn save because àwa táwa ń ta mọ̀ pé àwa tá fẹ́ save Nàìjíríà save Nàìjíríà fúnra wa you are saving it for the Chinese, the Asian and most importantly the West. Let's go further. So ó jẹ́ kó yé wa pé nígbà yẹn nígbà colonial era àwọn British Empire wọ́n wà nílẹ̀ wa láti mid-19th century títí di 1960. Ẹ ṣé gan ni ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Tony Fáìdàrò títí di wákàtí ìbéèrè ni pé ṣé wọ́n ti fi wá sílẹ̀ àwọn ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ní Koiki ẹ̀yin lẹ̀ tí fẹ́ accept wọ́n ti fún yín ní independent ẹ̀yin ló yẹ kẹ́ wá drive economy yín okay but tó bá fún wa ní independent in tí bàbá wó lọ́wọ́ tí wọ́n lọ on our behalf into negotiate kọ́ là ń lò nísìn. Gbọ́ mi yé, Lancaster House is tí bá wọ train láti lé mi mo gbọ́dọ̀ débẹ̀ within an hour. Mo ti lọ síbẹ̀ rí láì mọye ìgbà. Inú ibẹ̀ yẹn ni wọ́n ti jókòó pé after táwọn ti amalgamate yín àtẹ̀ sọ nípa slave trade, ẹ jẹ́ àtẹ̀ fi slave trade sílẹ̀, even though we can never forget it. Ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ṣebí Bishop Ajayi Crowther àtẹ̀ máa ń sọ ṣebí wọ́n mú bí ẹrú ni. Nígbà tó padà dé ló wá bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ oríṣiríṣi tá ìtàn káàkà nísìn. He was a slave. Bàbá yẹn was a slave. Mélòó bẹ́ẹ̀. But today, ọmọ Nàìjíríà tó ń pèrè lọ́mọ Nàìjíríà, ó fẹ́ jẹ́ káwa gbàgbé ìtàn ilẹ̀ Yorùbá ká fìyẹn sílẹ̀. Kí bàbá wa Lájí Abbas nìkan kàn máa sọ̀tàn Yorùbá ká máa gbọ́ yẹn gẹ́gẹ́ bí history. No, we want it as an independent nation. A fẹ́ máa gbọ́ lásán létí mọ́, a fẹ́ ní gẹ́gẹ́ bí ìlú, a fẹ́ filẹ̀. So that bí a ti bá wá decide pé mo fẹ́ lọ Japan, màá ṣe 35 years àbí kí n máa padà bọ̀ nílé. Ẹ fi pa àwọn tó wà ní Japan àtàwọn tó wà ní Europe, ẹ fi padà wá sílé ni. Bẹ́ẹ̀ yìí ṣe fẹ́ sá kúrò yẹn, àwa kan ti fẹ́ padà. The current situation of the making of Nigeria, we must discuss it. Tẹ́ ẹ bá discuss àwa Yorùbá, àwọn Biafra ò ní gbà, wọ́n máa jáde lẹ́ni. Ẹni máa kú, ẹni máa yè, òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀. But àwọn ò gbàdúrà ká kú, but lábẹ́ Buhari, bí bàbá ṣe sọ fún wa, àwọn kan tún bi mí pé níbo lèmi ti rí data yẹn. I mean, àwọn kan ti challenge mi rí pé data ti máa ń sọ pé 28,000 Yorùbá people died nígbà Buhari for 8 years. Pé níbo làwa ti rí data yẹn. Can you imagine? Ẹ máa wo thinking faculty ọmọ Yorùbá. À ń sọ̀rọ̀ pé a ní problem pẹ̀lú àwọn citizen wọn nísìn, but a ní problem pẹ̀lú the way the empire set up Nigeria. Because in tí bàbá in tí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ tó negotiate ni pé okay, àwa fẹ́ jà fún independent. Mo ń sọ lánàá, mo ní kó má tẹ̀jẹ́ pé àwọn bàbá yẹn nígbà tá a ṣe program tán lóru àná yẹn, mo bá mọ sí mi sọ̀rọ̀. You know, not everything is for public, but mo ṣàbá wọn sọ̀rọ̀. Mo wá sọ pé kó má jẹ́ pé àwọn bàbá yìí gan sẹ̀ wo fine print ìgbà tí wọ́n fún wa ní independent, because ẹ kàn ní agba independent, but kí ni fine print tó wà níbẹ̀? Ẹ mọ̀ pé àwa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí find out nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ Yorùbá nation yìí. Àwa realize pé òyìnbó kan sọ pé òun wà ní Nàìjíríà, kò ń ṣe kó wọ́n sọ fún òun, kódà British níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn wọ́n bà tòun jẹ́, wọ́n ṣe kíníkan ẹ̀ràn ti òyìnbó yẹn. Ó ní Britain ló rig election tí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ bá fi wọlé. Àwa wò pé Arrow Smith àtẹ̀rù pé yẹn nìkan la máa gbọ́. Ó tún wá jẹ́ kó yé wa pé mo kí ẹ Juliet Tosin, ó tún wá jẹ́ kó yé wa pé bàbá yẹn tún wá jẹ́ kó yé wa pé the censor tí wọ́n fi sọ pé north ló pọ̀ jù nígbà táwọn bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ náà lọ campaign níbẹ̀ wọ́n ò rí èèyàn, desert nìkan lọ́kàn rí, desert. Nígbà tó wá di election wọ́n wá ní north ló win because àwọn ìgbà British, ìgbà colonial era wọ́n ti bá wa gbé, wọ́n ti mọ̀ wá yàtọ̀ síra wa, wọ́n mọ̀ tí Igbo lè ṣe, bí a business commerce ni wọ́n ní o, bí a fraudster ni wọ́n ní o, mo kàn fi sọ̀rọ̀, wọ́n mọ̀ tí Yorùbá náà lè ṣe, bóyá máa ṣe ritualist ni wá ní o, mo fi sọ̀rọ̀ ní àpèjúwe, wọ́n mọ̀ tí Hausa náà lè ṣe, wọ́n wá wò pé táwọn bá gbé Nàìjíríà lé Yorùbá lọ́wọ́ pẹ̀lú ọpọlọ tó ń bẹ lórí wọn yìí, ọmọ ní tí lè jẹ mùdùmùdù yẹn ju bá ṣe fẹ́ jẹ lọ. Mùdùmùdù tó ti jẹ for years, donkey years, títí di wákàtí àwọn kan ṣì ń jà fún, àwọn kan tẹ̀ ní ká má máa sọ ọ̀rọ̀ ẹ pé because ó lè máa ní backlash tó bá ń gbọ́, because gbogbo program tá à ń ṣe mo sọ lánàá, mo ní for every word tí mò ń sọ lórí program mi ní Yorùbá yìí, supercomputer and translate fún wọn pẹ̀lú àwọn security ìlú yìí. Pé ká má máa bèrè pa fẹ́ gba owó repatriation, owó ẹrú padà lọ́wọ́ wọn, pé ká fìyẹn sílẹ̀ for now, ká kọ́ máa sọ̀rọ̀ lọ, because bí ṣe gbọ́, I don't know how true is it, nígbà tá à ń ka oríṣiríṣi nígbà tá a bẹ̀rẹ̀ program yẹn before then, wọ́n ní it was one of the reasons why MK Abiola also was not going to be given opportunity, even though we know there was other reasons for that, because ó náà máa gba owó ẹrú yẹn padà lọ́wọ́ wọn. We are dealing with a big problem. Kílédùmarè Jésù Kristi àtànábì kó jẹ́ kó easy fún wa ká lè tẹ̀síwájú. We are almost there. Ẹ jẹ́ ká padà sí ibi. Mo kàn ń ṣe analysis colonial time là ń sọ yìí nísìn. When Nigeria achieved independence, ẹ gbọ́ ọ̀rọ̀ yẹn, achieved, A-C-H-I-E-V-E-D. Ẹ jẹ́ ká lọ wo English dictionary, achieved. Achieve. Successfully bring about. Ṣé a lè sọ pé lẹ́ni, repatriation. Thanks so much, just reason. Wọ́n ní ọ̀rọ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ ká sì máa fi ẹsẹ̀ gbẹ̀. Because Britain ò ní sanwó yẹn láyé. And that is the reason why tí wọ́n ní apologize. Because tó bá ti mú ìjọba tí bá dẹ̀ sọ pé ìjọba king là ń bá sọ̀rọ̀. God bless the king. Ẹ̀yin lè bú, èmi ò lè bú, ibà lè mi gbé. Kò ní apologize. That's why he never did when he went to Kenya. 13 years làwọn máúmáú lọ́ fi bá wọn jà níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn. 13 years. Ìwọ wá ṣe sọ pé bọ́yẹ̀ ká ti gba Yorùbá nation yẹn kí ló kí ẹ̀kan pariwo ní ẹ̀kan scam wa ni. In tí wọ́n make in a way tó máa difficult láti break up. Number one, àti wà divided. Number one, kò sí unity láàrin wa. Èèyàn mẹ́ta tó jẹ́ the three major gbóǹkì ta jẹ́ the major group nínú tó ń pè ní enclave Nigeria yẹn, Igbo, Hausa, Yorùbá. Hausa, according to Chief Tola Adeniyi, wọ́n ti gé gbogbo orí wọn dànù, gbogbo àwọn ọba wọn ti pa wọ́n dànù, gbogbo àwọn tó wà níbẹ̀ lẹ́ni títí dé Sultan of Sokoto Fúlàní ni. Mo ní Sultan of Sokoto ni agbára Nàìjíríà wà lábẹ́, òun ló ń control Nàìjíríà. Wọ́n wá ń sọ fún wa pé the Nigeria did what?
Achieve.
Èmi ń bi ọmọ Yorùbá léni pé ṣé a achieve nǹkankan nínú Nàìjíríà? Yes. Ẹlòmíà ní ibẹ̀ ló fi kọ́ wa lọ́gbọ́n kìíní kan a máa ń tanra wa, a máa ń deceive ara wa. Àwọn tó gbádùn Nàìjíríà òun làwọn Fáyẹmí, àwọn Fáṣọlá, àwọn tó jẹ nígbà tí wọ́n ń pè ní regional government, gbogbo wọn pátápátá. Wọ́n lọ school ọ̀fẹ́, wọ́n mu mílíkì, wọ́n mu this, wọ́n mu that. Ìjọ wo làwọn ọmọ tá à ń bí nísìn lọ́mọ mi? I'm not talking about ní private school. Ní tó bá wùyàn ní ọ lè ṣe private school èmi lọ, ọwọ́n dọ́sán primary school. Ìyá mi lówó ló fi rán mi lọ síbẹ̀ ni. Èèyàn mélòó níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn ló lè nísìn ló lè rán ọmọ lọ sí public school tó máa fún wọn ní ìrẹsì. Ìyá mi yé tí coin kò ní bàjẹ́ fún yín. Àwọn èèyàn ní sọ̀rọ̀ but àwọn ọ̀jọ̀gbọ́n ìyá mi tí mo dárúkọ yìí àwọn ti ka òfin ìlú yìí. Wọ́n ní we are dealing with a beast, not a problem. Problem is even much lighter. Beast là ń deal pẹ̀lú. Àràkọ́ ń pariwo Yorùbá nation now, Yorùbá nation now. Mo ní a máa hold bàbá Ọbásanjọ́ responsible fún gbogbo tó ti tà nílùú yìí tó ń pè Nàìjíríà tó wà lọ́wọ́ wọn nílùú yìí. Késo studio ní for there was over 100 years of the British and dominated people of civilization more than their own ancient, more ancient than their own. Àṣẹ̀wánsẹ̀ nísìnyí pé yẹn ta ló fẹ́ save Nigeria? Why do you want to save Nigeria? Because saving Nigeria now only backlash from Africa gangan fúnra rẹ̀. Àwa kọ́kọ́ gbọ́dọ̀ free kí Africa tó free. Because Africa kọ́kọ́ ní free. UK wá náà negotiate pẹ̀lú Rwanda láti gbé ẹni tó bá wá sí ìlú yìí through boat láti gbé wọn lọ sí Rwanda. Àwọn ṣe wá through boat wá sọ́dọ̀ tiwa tó kọ́ńkà wa. Sometimes ìyẹn làwọn activists kan nílùú yìí. Ṣe rí iṣẹ́ activist iṣẹ́ tó le gan díẹ̀ ni. Ẹ mọ̀ pé máa ń lọ sí meeting ìpàdé àwọn journalists. Tẹ bá rí àwọn òyìnbó tó jẹ́ activist níbẹ̀. Because àwọn máa ń wonder pé ẹ̀yin lẹ́yìn lọ sí territory yẹn náà. Nígbà tẹ́lẹ̀ máa lọ ẹ kó ọkọ̀ ní bíbà. A ti ṣe program kan rí tí Queen ìjọ náà lọ́hùn tó fún wọn láyè pé nígbà tó ní wọ́n lọ síbẹ̀ wọ́n rá àwọn èèyàn tí wọ́n lè fi ṣerú. Ó ní kó fún wọn ní ship àti ìbọn dáadáa. Kó lọ síbẹ̀ padà kó lọ kó wọn wá. That is how they started the slave trade. Mo ti fi ṣe program rí. Níjọ́ náà lọ́hùn just inú ọdún yìí ni o mo ṣe program ẹ̀ pé nígbà tó realize pé òwò ẹrú oko ẹrú tí ọ̀nà sáà tí nǹkan tó mì àwọn tẹ fẹ́ lò tẹ́ ẹ̀ ní sanwó fún ọ̀fẹ́ who no like free ìlú ìtọ́ba ti ní buy one get one free ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú ni mí mo rí Azeez kí n má lọ fojú parí ó ní send kankan wọlé kóun bá ń fowó sínú kankan ẹ̀ràn pé ọmọ Ìjẹ̀bú dẹ̀ láìkó owó báyìí torí ó lè lọ nǹkan lè lọ gbàgbé so tó bá ti ń bi mí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn mo gbọ́dọ̀ máa ta lóhùn tó ti ní kófì sẹ́ni kófì wọlé mo fẹ́ fowó sínú ẹ̀ ni àwa wá ń pariwo a fẹ́ free àwọn kan wá nìyẹn but ẹ sọ pé ẹnu àwọn Yorùbá ní but ẹ sọ pé ẹnu máa wáyé lánàá Koiki kò wáyé Dagboru kan ti wá declare fún yín ìyẹn lẹ wá tẹ̀lé. Do you know that the making of Nigeria is very difficult to unbundle? And that is why Biafra ò ní gbọ́ jangbajantis kankan látọ̀dọ̀ anybody. Èyí táwa sì ń sọ pé yẹn United Nations, ECOWAS, forget it. Mo mọ̀ at least a little bit, which is not for public. Mo ní mo bá Nnamdi Kanu ṣe meeting. Stage táwọn wà nísìn ló fẹ́ wà o. Stage táwa dẹ̀ wà fún nísìn làwa náà fẹ́ wà. Wọ́n ní France, wọ́n ní they call it social security as well. So à ń sọ̀rọ̀ nípa ìgbà colonial time. Ètò yìí máa tán ní exactly 2 o'clock lọ́dọ̀ tiwa ní bíbá even tó bá pé 3 hours so that can they take short break. Màá padà wá mo ní jẹ́ kó pẹ́. We will continue from there. Ẹ mọ̀ pa gbélé láti Star Radio nísìnyí la fi ń bá lọ. Tẹ́ bá rò pé àwọn Biafra máa gbọ́ pé kíní kan Biafra pẹ̀lú United Nations, kíní kan Biafra pẹ̀lú okay, Agent Kanti Simon Ekpa kọ sí bíbá nísìnyí 1 hour ago. Ó respond lórí article kan tó jáde ní November. His Majesty Trade Commission for Africa, November 21. Great to see at Kegan launching #Nigeria New Transnational Education Strategy, which in time will allow Nigerian students access to quality UK higher education at home. Nǹkan sọ nísìnyí pé bóyá láìpẹ́ wọ́n máa sọ fún yín pé òfin wá kàwé nílùú yìí má kàwé àwa máa gbé wá sọ́dọ̀ yín àwa dẹ̀ làwa ní education. Ìtí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ fi jẹjú gbogbo àwọn jẹgúrú jẹrá tẹ̀ ń pè ní politician ni pé bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ allow everybody àtọmọ tálákà àtọmọ lówó wọ́n gbọ́dọ̀ ní free education. Ṣọmọ tálákà àtọmọ lówó ṣọmọ tálákà ní access sí free education lẹ́ni nísìn. Ẹ wá gbọ́ nǹkan tí Simon Ekpa kọ sábẹ́. Òun respond lórí tweet yìí but tweet yẹn ti wá láti 21st of November bí àwọn náà ṣe rí ni. Màá tún bẹ̀rẹ̀ kàlẹ́ nǹkan sí. His Majesty Trade Commission for Africa. Ẹ máa rántí pé a ṣe wà lórí ọ̀rọ̀ colonial time. Àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹn nísìn. What we are discussing might not feel comfortable with so many people. But the making of Nigeria, I gotta discuss it nísìn. Moving forward in Nigeria. Bola Tinubu have just 7 years more. Kọ́lọ́n fún lálàáfíà. In the next 80 years, Bola Tinubu will gone. Kò lè pé 160. Òun kàn ní fẹ́ pé 160. So why don't we save Yoruba territory as against it? Àwọn kan ní yẹn, ó máa fún yín ní autonomy, ó máa fún yín ní regional government. Ó tẹ̀ máa restructure gbogbo Nigeria. Forget about that nonsense. Bola Tinubu have no any intention to restructure any nonsense Nigeria. My prayer is that the determination of the Biafra will harden, leading to the breakup of the law and order eventually. Táwa Yorùbá bá sọ pé ṣe ọmọlúàbí yẹn náà la máa ṣe. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni mo kàn mọ́mọ́ ká tẹ̀ sọ pé ká máa fún ní 7 years but ká kọ́ top it up ká fi ṣe Christmas fún. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí Simon Ekpa sọ. So yẹ kí Britain máa sọ fún àwa Yorùbá pé education ilẹ̀ Yorùbá o education ilẹ̀ Yorùbá o ọwọ́ tiwọn ló wà. Simon Ekpa ni while the Biafrans are committed only to exiting Nigeria, the evil British colonialism is at peak. Ẹ mọ̀ pé mo ṣe rí tweet yẹn nísìnyí. Kí ni mo dẹ̀ ṣe rí ni pé Kofi yẹn mo máa ń send ẹ̀ lọ sí Twitter láti lè extract copy link yẹn jáde kí n lè tètè send ẹ̀ sí easy because òun ti ń lọ bí iṣẹ́ báyìí ní Sunday nídẹ̀ ni mo ṣe rí ti Simon Ekpa. Ṣé mọ̀ pé mi kàn discuss colonial this era of colonialism yẹn ó ti bayé jẹ́ ó ti bọ̀run jẹ́ ó ti affect ìran wa nísìn ó dẹ̀ sì ń affect ìran wa lọ́la. Ẹ jẹ́ ká ṣe kíni ẹ jẹ́ ká pull it down ẹ jẹ́ ká stop it but ọmọ Yorùbá ní no àwọn prefer Nigeria against Yorùbá having an independent country. Ṣé kí báwo ni ẹ ṣe gbọ́dọ̀ mú jà wá láàrin wa? Ọmọ Fúlàní ló jẹ́ kó máa attack wa kò ń ṣe ọmọ Yorùbá rárá. Tẹ́ ẹ bá tẹ́ ẹ fẹ́ kan tá a sọ pé a fẹ́ ṣe yìí kò jẹ́ kẹ́ máa attack wa because attack tẹ́ ẹ fún wa ẹ sọ fáwọn òyìnbó pé in tó ṣe fáwọn baba ńlá wa títí di wákàtí. It's just because sí ní àwọn event tá máa irú tí mo lọ lánàá yẹn. A ní kẹ́ lọ wò ẹ rí pé passion àwọn kan níbẹ̀ yẹn pé àwọn ò ní gbà ẹ ṣe máa sọ fún wa pé after tá ti jọ gbé ní bíbá ẹ wá ní ẹ kó wa lọ sí Rwanda nígbà tẹ wá kó wa láti Rwanda wá sí bíbá ó ṣe wá jẹ́ nísìnyí lẹ fẹ́ kó wa padà pé tó bá apply fún asylum nílùú yìí wá lọ wá kọ́kọ́ gbé wá fi plane gbé lọ sí Rwanda tó bá wá ṣe case ẹ̀ tán tó bá fi pé ó jẹ́ kí o wá sí UK wá dé padà. Some of us don't want to live here anymore. But a lè padà sínú society Nigeria yẹn tó wà lábẹ́ federal government Fúlàní. Tinubu ṣiṣẹ́ fún Fúlàní ni kò ṣiṣẹ́ fún ọmọ Yorùbá. Ẹni mi ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ send somewhere. Kó wá sọ bó ṣe fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ fún Yorùbá fún wa. Ó fẹ́ ṣiṣẹ́ fún Yorùbá lọ kidnap ọmọ Yorùbá láàrin Kogi sí Abuja. Ta ló bá fún gbogbo military ní order pé tó bá bí yín dá kó jiyàn kó gbé láàrin títì yẹn. Tinubu can give the presidential order. Òun náà wá di dẹ̀dọ̀yọ̀. Ó di dẹ̀dọ̀yọ̀ sọ fún wa. Ó wá ń sọ lórí paper tí mò ń kà láàárọ̀ ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó sọ bàbá dọ̀dọ̀yọ̀. My administration ọ̀tẹ̀lẹ̀ ó ṣe wọ́n ló deceive àwọn èèyàn ni nígbà tó ń ṣe campaign ó ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ ni tó lè jẹ́ kọkàn tán ó débẹ̀ tán nísìnyí náà tí egungun ẹ̀ ti le bọ̀kọ́lọ́ bá fún lálàáfíà torí àwọn ògbàdúrà kú fún tó bá kú nísìnyí ṣètì mà ló máa débẹ̀. Ẹ má bínú ẹ̀ tẹ́wà lórí the other platform mo ṣe fídíò yẹn kó máa show multiple image mi. My administration is committed to removing any anti-investment barrier, Tinubu tell foreign investor. In your corner, we need action, not too much talking. Ẹ̀ta ló máa ṣe action yẹn. Mr. Bim Bim. Just advising. Èmi náà mọ̀. Nígbà tí Ìgbòho bẹ̀rẹ̀ action, tá ń gbé rally káàkiri, Ìgbòho. Ẹ mọ iye ọba tó ń pè wá lójoojúmọ́. Ṣé torí pa àjáde máa sọ? Ẹ fẹ́ lead. Tẹ́ bá fẹ́ lead ẹ wà Nàìjíríà kẹ́ sọ fún wa náà, a fún yín ní support. It is easier said than done. It is easier said than done. Anyway, ẹ jẹ́ ká move on swiftly. Mo fẹ́ padà sí Simon Ekpa again. Ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tó sọ, only you two leaders. Harry, Araban sọ nìyẹn. Èmi ò fẹ́ lead, ìwọ ò fẹ́ lead. Ẹ dẹ̀ sọ pé we are talking too much. We are all not ready. Tá bá ti ready, gbogbo bá ti ready. Kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa lead anybody. Everybody máa ya síta ni kò tí kàn mí dáadáa ni kò tí kàn wọ́n dáadáa ni kọ́ lọ́ máa jẹ́ kí láburú kan èmi àti wọ́ àwọn tí wọ́n jí gbé ní Kogi sí Abuja nísìn àwọn ọlọ́mọ wọn ṣe negotiate 30 million nísìn kò tí kàn wá ní gbogbo pé àwọn ẹni tó máa lead wa yẹn ìyẹn ni àwọn Biafra ṣe yàtọ̀ sí wa because Simon Ekpa ni wọ́n bí anybody dá mo gbọ́ fídíò yẹn láàárọ̀ lórí page ẹ̀ máa play nísìn pé kò sọ̀rọ̀ negotiation kankan mọ́ níbi tọ́rọ̀ dé nísìn ìtọ́ òun fẹ́ rí nísìn ni pé kọ́kọ́ gbogbo military tó ń bẹ ní south east kọ́kọ́ wọn jáde kọ́dẹ̀ release Nnamdi Kanu ìyẹn làwọn kọ́kọ́ ti lè bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí sọ̀rọ̀ ṣé Nàìjíríà máa ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n máa gbà sí fúnra wọn irin máa kọrin ara máa kanra ẹni máa kú ikú láàrin lójoojúmọ́ ní middle east kò sẹ́ni tó máa náà wọn ò rí tá a bá sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí torí a kò dákẹ́ àwọn òfin sọ̀rọ̀ bọ̀ kò sẹ́ni tó máa sọ pé in tó ń lọ ní middle east yìí òkú ló ń sùn yìí mo rí fídíò kan láàárọ̀ àná bí láàárọ̀ yìí ni ẹ̀jẹ̀ rẹpẹtẹ irun máa kọrin ẹni máa kú ẹni máa yè òun lọ̀rọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ yìí fact ni a fẹ́ gba freedom ẹ̀kọ́ máa wá lásán àwọn Biafra ò ní gbà ẹ̀gbọ́n kan tí Simon Ekpa sọ 1 hour ago ló post lele while the Biafrans are committed only to exiting Nigeria the evil British colonialism ṣé kò evil tó ṣé colonialism tí mo ṣì ń ṣàlàyé fún wa ṣé kò tí evil tó tí wọ́n wá ń jẹ́ kó yé wa pé àwa achieve independent mo ń bí gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá tó ń gbọ́ mi ní wákàtí títí débi báyìí kí la achieve nínú Nàìjíríà ẹjọ́ torí Ọlọ́run ẹ bá ṣàlàyé fún mi ẹ fi sínú comment section tẹ́ ẹ bá dẹ̀ believe in Ọlọ́run ẹ believe in Elédùmarè ẹ fi sínú comment section tó bá jẹ́ Jésù Kristi bá ń fi sínú comment section kí la ti achieve nínú Nàìjíríà in the last 63 years ẹ bá ń kọ síbẹ̀ Koiki Fáṣọlá ṣe títì Dangote ṣe this ìyẹn là ń sọ ni àní identity wa wọ́n ti gbà kúrò lọ́wọ́ wa àárí identity lò ṣé àwọn bá lè pàṣẹ kínú wa dùn ó ní tí mo sọ fún ikú bàbá yìí mo láǹfààní àti bá wọn sọ̀rọ̀ wọ́n náà wọn mo ní kọ́ jẹ́ record bàbá yẹn ní no pé mo lè record ní táwọn bá sọ fún mi kí n gbé sábẹ́ kun ni kò ń ṣe fún public consumption idiot all over the place. mo ní ẹjọ́ dáàdi ẹ jẹ́ kí n record so that ọjọ́ iwájú ká lè rí nǹkan sọ síta wọ ọgbà bàbá yẹn ní no wọn ọmọ mi wọn ní no ẹ̀yin wọn sọ pé kinní kan ìyà ń jẹ gbogbo wa lójoojúmọ́ ẹni wà ń ta kò lálàáfíà ẹni wà nulẹ̀ ọkàn yín kọ́ ló ń jẹ́ kó balẹ̀ ni ọkàn gbogbo ọ̀ balẹ̀ mo ń bi wá pé British sọ fún wa according to that nǹkan lọ pé ní Nigeria achieved independence achieved àwa lọ́wọ́ meaning achieve yẹn gangan mo sọ lẹ́ǹkan àwọn èèyàn wá ń béèrè pé what is the synonym of achieved ACHIEVED àníbi àmàní Alpha Charlie Hotel India Echo Victor Echo Delta some common synonyms of achieve are accomplish discharge effect execute fulfill perform èwo ni Nàìjíríà ṣe fẹ́yìn níbẹ̀ gullible people all over the place àwa ará àwọn elite wa ẹ̀yin wá ń rò pé irú àwọn Délé Mọ̀mọ́dù àwọn sẹ́ẹ̀tì àwọn èèyàn ráyè àwọn náà ti jìyà kó àwa náà lọ jìyà bá ṣe máa gba Yorùbá nation ó ń tẹ̀lé Àtíkù bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń tẹ̀lé dé bàbá uncle Davido tó ń jẹun káàkiri tó ń jẹ tọ̀ìtọ̀ pẹ̀lú kùn ńláńlá tó ń gbé káàkiri ẹ lọ bèèrè lọ Fáyọ̀ṣe èmi sì rí ẹni tó jẹ́ àǹtí wọn ni mọ̀mísí àbí ẹ̀gbọ́n wọn ní London ní bíbá mo ti pàdé wọn ní just about few months ago Fáyọ̀ṣe tẹ́ ń sọ yẹn àwọn ẹ má kí tí wọ́n lù bẹ̀yẹn ẹ jẹ́ ara débẹ̀ Fáyọ̀ṣe tó ṣe fún fámílì ẹ̀ ló máa ṣe fún wọ Fáyọ̀ṣe tó ṣe fún fámílì tiẹ̀ ní ẹ má kí n lọ sẹ́rí àyẹn mo tún béèrè lọ́wọ́ ìyá àyíjọ́ tí mo rí wọn just some few months ago ìwọ wá ń sọ pé Fáyọ̀ṣe ó máa ṣètọ́jú fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá kí ló ṣe fẹ́ Èkìtì ẹ lọ gbogbo Èkìtì láàárọ̀ yìí nísìn ìyà ń jẹ gbogbo yín ni àwa lọ sí búkà àwa jọ́njẹ àwa ní kọ́ máa fídíò wọ́n ń deceive everybody wọ́n fi wá pa ṣáyó wọ́n ń ṣiṣẹ́ fún àwọn evil western agenda against we the indigenous people tá a nílẹ̀ mo níṣẹ́ lórí fóònù mi yìí tí mo ti archive tẹ́ bá mọ iye gold tó gbé jáde ní Nàìjíríà lábẹ́ Buhari bàbá ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ mi ó ní Mr. Koiki ó ní àfi tóun bá travel nìkan ní kí n release information sí social media idiot all over the place àwa la ní gold ní Ọ̀ṣun state àwa ń ta gold fún Dubai àwọn ìyá wa wá gbéra àti Yorùbá Wuyì ẹ lọ ra gold ní Dubai ìtò yẹ ká ti máa ra gold ní Ọ̀ṣun state ká máa produce ẹ̀ ní oríṣiríṣi káwọn èèyàn máa wá sí Ọ̀ṣun state kí lè máa bún kí gbogbo àwa la ní ọ̀rá àwa la ní gbogbo ẹ̀ ànọ́dọ̀ tó wà nílẹ̀ orí ẹ̀ wọ̀n la máa padà sí ó kù díẹ̀ ni àwọn Biafra ti wà lọ́nà wọ́n máa ń sọ fún wa pé we've achieved independence àwọn jubilate àwọn gbé flag Nàìjíríà àṣẹ flag Nàìjíríà wọ́n sì máa fi pa àwọn ọmọ yan ní ensars àwọn ensars wọ́n gbé flag wọ́n ní this is Nigerian flag arise o compatriot Nigeria àwọn àmì wa bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí yìnbọn la ilaha illallah Muhammadu Rasulullah imagine kí káwọn ọmọ British gbé flag dání kí British soldier wá pa wọ́n ìlú yìí máa go down lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ imagine pé kí British come and protest. Why do you think they're not using gun against them in the central London? One more question about do ìbọn tó bá ṣe mistakenly pààyàn níbẹ̀ tó gbé British flag dání this country will be burst. Ni mo sọ fún yín. Nigerians were now singing a national anthem because they were protesting against what British was funding, known as the ensars. Idiots are now telling us that we should keep quiet. The British government was funding ensars. Ensars òṣìṣẹ́ ní north wọ́n lo ensars against the southerners ní ilẹ̀ Yorùbá. Èèyàn kan wá ní kémi wá lead yín kò àìtí ready ni tí gbogbo wa bá ready kò sẹ́ni tó máa lead anybody. A máa bọ́ sí ìgboro tá a máa béèrè fún ẹ̀tọ́ wa àìtí dé stage yẹn a ṣe ń warm up lọ́wọ́ ni warming up là ń ṣe àìtí dé stage yẹn gbogbo tá a ṣe lọ́wọ́ lórí social media à ń warm up ni. Nígbà tó bá dé stage àtèmi àtiwọ́ kò sẹ́ni kankan tó máa wà lórí social media mọ́. Àwọn ọba àti ìjòyè àtàwọn olóṣèlú la máa bá bèrè pé kí ló ń ṣẹlẹ̀ gan ṣé ó dìgbà tó bá jí èmi náà gbé lèmi náà máa sọ ni ẹ bèrè lọ́wọ́ bọ̀bọ̀ tó jí pẹ̀lú 14-member crew what do we need to do now we need to start asking questions not sit back and say ta ló máa lead wa Ìgbòho ni kó wá lead wa no Ìgbòho will not lead us he will be behind and we will work with him and we will make sure we give him all the support kẹlẹ pàdánù ṣé Ìgbòho nìkan lọmọ Yorùbá ni. You can see that he's feeling the energy. Nígbà tí mo ní bá mi, àwọn 14, wọ́n ní coordinator, nǹkan ti le gan ní Nàìjíríà o. Wọ́n bí 1 million Fúlàní dá kó dá gbòòrò dúró àti wọ́n fi kú ni. 1 million wọ́n bí wọ́n dá kí gbogbo nìkan rìn lójú títì kó dá wọn dúró. Àbọ̀ fẹ́ kú ni. But what about me and you? Olórin yẹn nísìn, mo pray pé tó bá jáde, ó gbọ́dọ̀ ṣe orin pé Nàìjíríà yìí, you get as it be, tó bá tẹ̀ support Yorùbá nation. we are all living in denial. And the paper to energy me the we don't go to the love so let me just complete this program and get the hell out, and then we'll come back. Simon Ekpa who was of one labe tweeting while the Biafrans are committed only to exiting Nigeria. Simon Ekpa immediately very, very diplomatic. Ìlú tó wà yẹn mo doubt it ọba máa ṣe anything fún. Finland Simon Ekpa wà yẹn tẹ́ bá rò pé wọ́n máa ṣe anything fún ni. Tó bá wá ṣe anything fún Simon Ekpa, I can bet you àwọn tó tún máa jáde ju Simon Ekpa lọ wọ́n dúró tán. Àwọn ọmọ Biafra yẹn ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ń ràn lára wọn, ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ń boil gidi ni, tó ń boil gidi lójoojúmọ́. I've met some of them on one-on-one. Ẹ̀jẹ̀ tó ń ẹlọ́bẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ àrólé tẹ́ntẹ́n ẹ̀rọ pàrọ̀ àrólé tẹ́ntẹ́n ṣeré ni pẹ̀lú gbogbo mítì tó náà bá wọn ṣe yẹn àwọn mítì nípàdé kọ̀kọ̀ tí kò ní sí recording kankan wọ́n boil gidi. But we can tell the federal government to start talking so that kó má to di irú 1967 torí 1967 yàtọ̀ sí sìn. It can be avoided. But everybody's playing, I want to play politics at Batamala. Politics iti, Buruji Kashabu, Tiko, Toshe Tiko, Fichele, Ayedada, Ni Jebode, to Sobu Bawon Yawado Lushi, Odiba to Bato Balefu, Koto Kiniko, Udanisi, call of fun, okay. This is why we are saying that the Yoruba territory is already in danger. It is time that we wake up from our slumber. But we Taloma lead, Aluka Mokebe, Kuseni Kokon. Gbogbo ama bọ́ síta tá máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn olóṣèlú wa mo ní ká kó bọ́ síta o ẹ gbọ́ mi dáadáa but a béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wa gẹ́gẹ́ bí àwọn ọmọ Britain bó ṣe ń béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wọn lẹ́ni àtàwọn ọmọ Scottish bó ṣe ń béèrè ẹ̀tọ́ wọn wọ́n lẹ́yìn tá a bá fa gbòògbò á fa gbó from there nǹkan kan ṣẹlẹ̀ bó ká tó dé stage yẹn a máa ṣàwẹ́ánẹ́sì báyìí Britain sọ fún wa pé a ti achieve independent mo wá ń bi gbogbo ọmọ Yorùbá láàárọ̀ pé èwo ni wọ́n achieve níbẹ̀ education lọ́wọ́ ṣe ń sọ fún wa Britain tí wọ́n sọ fún wa tí a ti kàwé tí bàbá Awólọ́wọ̀ ṣe pé àwa la ní so many professor ọwọ́ ṣe ń sọ fún wa pé àwọn máa gbé partnership wa àṣẹ gbogbo time yẹn tèmi náà máa ń lọ sí British High Commission British kìíní tó wà ní side ibi Victoria Island níjọ́ náà kí tó travel kò mo ti sọ́rí kò sí catalogue university mo ní business center ní gbogbo university ìlú yìí business center ni wọ́n business center ní gbogbo ẹnẹ́mi ni mo sọ bẹ́ẹ̀ business center ni wọ́n they need your money so that you can fund it as well. Mo wá ń kà láàárọ̀ in another section ẹ má bínú a máa parí ètò ìlú ọ̀tọ̀ in 2 o'clock time wà níbí báyìí so mo ń try láti push as much ẹ jẹ́ kí n something British sọ fún mi láàárọ̀ London Punch newspaper tí mo kà ẹ máa follow wa lórí Twitter which is X space onda ẹgbọ́n kan tí Vanguard sọ òyìnbó pẹ́ẹ́pẹ́ lúkúlúkú pẹ́ẹ́pẹ́ má bá òyìnbó wọ toilet ìgbẹ́ wọn rùn bí wèrè wàá bọ́ta ni wàá kọ́kọ́ ìgbẹ́ tiẹ̀ wàá mú ìgbẹ́ tiẹ̀ dání ẹ má bínú ẹni tó bá ń jẹun wàá kọ́kọ́ bọ́ta kóun lè yàgbẹ́ tiẹ̀ tán ẹ̀yin wàá rò pé àwọn òyìnbó táwa ń sọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀ yìí mò ń ní gbogbo wọn but àwọn tó ti báyé jẹ́nu wọn wọ́n sì wà nínú àwọn parliament wọn bẹ́ẹ̀ òyìnbó ló sọ fẹ́mi nígbà tá a lọ sí rally kan ṣe rally tiwa yẹn o ẹ̀ pé máa ń bá wọn káàkiri rally mo ti lọ rally gay àti lesbian kíní kan mi tó bá máa ṣẹlẹ̀ kájọ máa wà káàkiri níbẹ̀ ibi tí ọba gbé ní àwọn do as they do in Rome ṣe mọ̀ pé wọ́n ṣe ń sanwó slave trade fáwọn ọmọ àwọn kan nílùú yìí British government ń sanwó fún wọn òyìnbó ẹ̀ wá ní do you know that mo á súnmọ́ mo ní what do you say ó ní wọ́n ti ń sanwó owó ẹrú wọ́n ń sọ fáwọn ọmọ wọn pé kọ́ má ẹgbẹ́ má bínú tíyàn bá dé mọ sí memorial àti bóbá sọ àwọn tó bá gbé London tẹ́ bá dé ibi tí the Ritz Hotel wà mo gbàbẹ̀ kọjá ní last week Wednesday not upper Wednesday late ìjọ tí mo lọ sí COVID inquiry ẹ rántí tí mo wọ Guinea tèmi náà ṣe bí èèyàn dáadáa mo wá ń bọ̀ mo wá wà lórí bus mo wá wo time pé mo fi tètè dé studio èmi dẹ̀ like bus máa pè kí n lọ́wọ́ train máa ti tètè débẹ̀ máa wọ bus èèyàn mélòó nù wa ẹ̀yẹ lọ sí Night Bridge ìwọ ṣeré lọ síbẹ̀ dúdú mélòó lẹ́ẹ̀ rí tó jókòó tó ń jẹ lunch nínú àwọn restaurant yẹn omi ẹ̀tọ́ fi ń jẹun níbẹ̀ àwọn afagbùrù nínú London àwọn kan wọ́n sanwó slave fún wọn owó ẹ̀rú wọ́n wá lọ máa fi jẹun wọ́n wá ra wine £500 àwọn tó wá jẹ́ olè politician lẹ máa wá rí nínú àwọn ọbẹ̀ yẹn táwọn náà wá dé ẹlòmíà wá fẹ́ wà belonging láti lè jẹ́ kó ya picture wá lọ jókòó pẹ̀lú wọn níbẹ̀. Very expensive area, Knightsbridge, the Ritz Hotel. Èmi ò ṣiṣẹ́ níbẹ̀ rí, but mom sí mi ṣiṣẹ́ níbẹ̀ rí. Is very expensive. Afternoon tea wọn mo mọ ẹtọ ń ta o kò ju croissant lọ croissant no scones kò ṣe croissant scones òyìnbó like scones pẹ̀lú tea ó lè tán ta wọ́n wá fìyà jẹ wá títí àwa ń sọ pé ìyà tó ń fi wá jẹ yìí ó ti tó náà ẹ jẹ́ kájọ jókòó kájọ sọ ibi ìtọmọlúàbí àwọn kan wá ní náà ìyà yẹn ẹ jẹ́ kó mú wa pa àwa ní kò lè dá bẹ́ẹ̀ ẹ báyìí ká ṣe bẹ́ẹ̀ kí lẹ gbọ́ mi sọ mẹ́rin. Let's take a date and time for all to come out. Irọ́ mú date irọ́ là ń pa fúnra wa nìyẹn. Èmi kan máa ti bá sọ pé ká mú irọ́ là ń pa. Ìyẹn mú date. Ṣòwòrẹ́ ti sọ pé revolution kò sẹ́ni tó dá lóhùn. Ìyẹn mú date fún nǹkan báyìí. Àkọ́kọ́ máa ṣàlàyé tá à ń ṣe títí. Ẹ má kí n gbàgbé tí mo fi sọ. Fake employment. Over 1,000 Nigerians are now stranded in UK. Èmi kan mo sọ Vanguard newspaper. Kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? The United Nations Migration Agency, an international organization for migration, IOM, àwọn yẹn pa, wọ́n wà nílùú bí àbáyé nísìn, wọ́n jẹun gidi. Ẹ mọ̀ why? Because àwọn lọ expert, àwọn lọ máa ń kọ́ àwọn tó bá ti pẹ́ sí Libya, tó wà ní prison, àwọn lọ negotiate, tó máa fi gbé yín kúrò. IOM ló ń pè wọ́n, tó bá wà ní Libya, tó bá get stuck, make sure pé wá wọn, àwọn lọ lè help ẹ. Nigerian embassies are stupid as nothing. Bí a ti Tinubu bá fún wa ní ambassador tó torí ẹ pé lọ sí Libya bí a wá ṣiṣẹ́ tó yẹ kó ṣe. Èèyàn mú date bim fact mo sọ fún yín o ẹ fẹ́ mú date revolution ìbálẹ̀ abẹ́ ń wáìnì mi ni date báwo a máa bọ́ta ni ẹ lọ wo àwọn Algeria ṣé Algeria ni bọ̀bọ́ ẹ̀ tó sun rẹ̀ ọlọ́run jẹ́ kí èèyàn kan sunra wọn but something will lead to something ìgbà tó fẹ́ lead ẹ̀ láì tí mo ṣe máa padà sọ́dọ̀ Simon Ekpa mo kàn rántí ẹ mọ̀ kọ́rọ̀ education là ń sọ nísìnyí mo ṣe rántí eléyìí pé mo rí láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ is now urging them to seek proper IOM has advised potential migrants to be cautious of a syndicate that specializes in offering fake employment letters to Nigerians that seeking to work in the United Kingdom. Mo sọ fún yín pé brother wa kan ní Nigeria ó reach out sí mi within 10 days ẹni ẹ̀ dá 9.5 million yẹn padà láti April ló ti gbà owó yẹn pọ̀ máa bá wọn ṣe tẹ́ ń pè ní COS ẹ wà very careful ẹ wà very careful. I cannot advise on immigration. Mo ṣe immigration officer. Ó bá àforídé ìlú yìí tó bá ṣáà ti wọ̀ nílùú ìwọ pè mí máa sọ tó lè ṣe fún ẹ. But bó ṣe máa wọlé èmi ò mọ̀ ń pa ẹ̀. So wọ́n sọ fún yín pé kẹ́ very careful. Torí pé gbogbo èèyàn máa ń take advantage nǹkan ni. Kódà àwọn èèyàn ti take advantage Yorùbá nation náà normal nìyẹn kò sí nǹkan kí la máa ṣe sí. Yorùbá wuyì máa mọ ní tí mò ń sọ. Wọ́n jẹun dáadáa ni it's okay. Ẹ já padà sọ́dọ̀ Simon Ekpa torí àsìkò tí fẹ́ máa lọ. Triple DRS gbogbo village mo kí. When it reached the peak or the end road, everyone will come out on the street. Wọ́n ìgbà yẹn mo kí ẹ̀gbọ́n mi Ṣẹ́gun ọ̀nà. A lè mú date fún yẹn but it will happen but nígbà tó fẹ́ happen yẹn a kàn bẹ Elédùmarè pé bí a kí Tinubu fáwa tí ẹ̀ ń sọ pé ó máa ṣe bí a kó tètè ṣe kankan tó máa kàn make ẹ̀ pé kò ní jẹ́ ta ló ti rí fídíò àwọn tó ń push àwọn Nigerians ta ló rí fídíò àwọn custom tó ń lé àwọn èèyàn torí rice tó ń yìnbọn sókè pàpàpàpàpà ó dá o mo wá ka kọ́mẹ́ǹtì kan lábẹ́ Linda Kejì ọ̀bá ẹ̀ ní the throw RPG every one of them go camus èèyàn kan náà tí wọ́n ẹ̀yin tẹ́ máa ń kọ́mẹ́ǹtì ẹ̀ náà máa jẹ́ pààyàn bọ̀bọ̀ kan wà every time tó bá post nǹkan orí Twitter nìyẹn wà á ní abeg I just mop the floor and I don't unlace my shoe. Nigeria is a very, funny country that so many times you just laugh. Èèyàn kan wá ń béèrè pé what is RPG? Mo ní kan wá rẹ́rìn pé bí ó mọ̀ ni bí ó dẹ̀ wine ẹni ẹ wà àwọn custom àwọn ní dot ẹ̀yin ò lè ẹ wá ń wọlé rice tó ti kó wọnú ilé ìyẹn lẹ́sẹ̀ wá ń lọ gbà ẹ ń push àwọn èèyàn. Tinubu ó dẹ̀ wà lórí oyè tó tẹ̀ jẹ́ kí Christmas kó tẹ̀ sọjú nù fún custom ibi wọn ni president pé bàbá custom officer pé ẹ sọjú nù à ń sọdún lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tó bá dẹ̀ di January ẹ lock up again ní north tẹ́yìn ò bá mọ̀ porous border wà níbẹ̀ chief of defence staff sì sọ bó ṣe ń gbé mọ́tò wọlé tó san custom duty mo kí ẹ àlùkà bẹ́ẹ̀ ló ń gbé ìrẹsì wọlé wọ́n kó ìbọn wọlé wọ́n kó gbogbo ẹ̀ wọlé ní òkè ọya ẹ wá ń lọ bá aráàlú tí ráìsì ti wà nínú ilé wọn ẹ wá ń fìbọn ẹ wá ń yìnbọn sókè ẹ wá ń kó gbogbo ráìsì yẹn ẹ ṣe dáadáa yín custom yìí ẹ ṣe dáadáa ẹ jẹ́ ń play Simon Ekpa fídíò kan tí mo rí láàárọ̀ yìí náà ni then àti sọ mo sọ eléyìí nínú news update ní Star Radio terrorists from Cameroon turned Taraba community into graveyard wọ́n pa 500 people House of Rep member ló raise it Sahara reporter ló kọ. Why are we living in denial? Mo kí ìyàwó Fatima Mustapha ìtagbédání àtakò ẹ̀sìn kankan ọ̀rọ̀ orí olókun yẹn ẹ má wọrí nípa yẹn kò takò ẹ̀sìn olúkálukú máa ṣẹ̀sìn tiẹ̀ ní ìlú tá wà yìí do your own I do my own kò takora wọn rárá ẹ tó bá dẹ̀ ní Koiki afẹ́ràn ẹ̀ lọ́wọ́ kò pọ̀ jù First Bank ní 30 96 80 88 48 tó bá ti ń ṣe yẹn tẹ́ bá ti rí orúkọ míì ẹ má sanwó sínú ẹ̀hún tèmi nìyẹn ẹ ṣe gan ni ẹ já gbọ́ fídíò because we are winding down we have 15 minutes mo fẹ́ lọ jẹun ni àwọn àrùn mi ti ń sọ pé o ṣàgbàwé bàbá ẹ kí ló wá jókòó sórí program tó fẹ́ ṣe rẹ léṣe lọ jẹun so aago méjì dẹ̀ ti lù ebi kọ́ ló ń pa wá gbogbo tí mo ṣe mú ok mo ti mu tíì láàárọ̀ ok abájọ tí kùn mi ṣe hold díẹ̀ mo dẹ̀ jẹ crochet ẹyọ kan ní tí mo jẹ látàárọ̀ nìyẹn yorùbá wèrè that custom video so ìyá mi mo ti ṣe fídíò lórí ẹ̀ kọ́ mo ti rí pé ṣe fídíò lórí ẹ̀ ó wà disgusting gan. I mean, we understand that, you know, wọ́n ti ní kẹ́ má kó ráìsì wọlé nǹkan, you know, bẹ́ẹ̀ ni bàbá wa Ifá olókun Asọ̀rọ̀dáyọ̀. But kí lẹ wá ṣe yẹn fún náà, èyí custom nílẹ̀ Yorùbá. Ìbọn ọmọ Yorùbá náà ni gbogbo wa. Ìlú yẹn kúkú gbádùn tẹ́lẹ̀, ẹ sọjú nù náà. Káwọn èèyàn lè ta oúnjẹ, kọ́ lè ra oúnjẹ Christmas, kọ́ ṣe kí ni. A máa parí ètò in 12 minutes, kò ní ju 12 minutes ìrọ̀ agbára Ọlọ́run. Máa play video Simon Ekpa yẹn mo ti gbé dání báyìí, ó wà níbẹ̀. Ẹ ṣe sùúrù náà. Condone crime o ká má ní Koiki ìwọ ló wá tú ìwọ tó ń sọ pé o fẹ́ Yorùbá nation ṣé nǹkan tẹ́ máa fẹ́ ní Nàìjíríà ò tí ì ṣe countries okay lawless ni àdèmọ àwọn tó jẹ́ big man tó ń kó ráìsì wọlé níbẹ̀ yẹn náà a lè má dárúkọ wọn náà lórí show kọ́ má àbọ̀rọ̀ mọ̀ yẹn nísìn àmọ́ àwọn tó ń fi kọ̀ńténà kó wọlé ní axis yẹn so àwọn tó ti gbé ráìsì wọlé kílẹ̀ ń lọ gba ráìsì lọ́wọ́ wọn tẹ́ ń yìnbọn sókè tẹ́ ń ṣe bíi criminal ẹ̀yin custom officer ẹ ṣe sùúrù náà kí ni Tinubu wọn tẹ̀ ń ṣe gan sẹ́ẹ̀ ìyá mi Yorùbá wòye kí ni Tinubu ń ṣe náà kó yẹ kó ọ̀dà mi náà kí n tó fi ń pè ní president nìyẹn wàá jáyé yẹn kú tó máa fi lọ ní èmi ti sọ pé tẹ̀sí wa lójú gbogbo èèyàn ọmọ Yorùbá tẹ́ wà l'Ábùjá ìbọ́dọ̀ vovi àbí bolẹ̀ tí ń ránṣọ nísìn ẹ tẹ̀sí ojú ẹ̀yà tí Buhari wà níbẹ̀ gbogbo nǹkan ló ṣe nísìn bó ṣe ń gbọ́ látàwọn source ní ẹ̀wọ̀n oríṣiríṣi source náà ló máa wá sórí desk wa wọ́n ní gbogbo àwọn Haúsá tó máa ń travel tó máa ń wọlé tó máa gbé tó máa ra nǹkan tẹ́ pé wọ́n ní san custom duty ẹni tó ń béèrè pé báwo la ṣe máa get radio Fáyọ̀ṣe àìná àti Ìbàdàn ok bàbá wa ọ̀nà Adéọlá ẹgbẹ́ tó bá fẹ́ rédíò yẹn ẹ contact wa máa send the details yín àwọn èèyàn dẹ̀ ti ń ra àwọn kódà àwọn kan ti lọ collect tiwọn àwọn èèyàn béèrè pé Koiki ẹ jẹ́ nǹkan sọ lórí rédíò yẹn ká tó play ti Simon Ekpa because we have 10 minutes rédíò yẹn is a transistor radio app ẹ wà tá à ń pè ní Yorùbá Nation Radio and TV tẹ́ bá download yẹn ẹ máa gbọ́ látijọ́ Monday títí di Sunday lórí apps but tó bá ti dijọ́ Saturday ní aago 8 alẹ́ ní Nigerian time títí dago 9 tẹ́ bá ti tún sí shortwave tó wà lára rédíò yẹn ẹ máa gbọ́ ètò tó ń ṣe ní moment yẹn it could be anything but ẹ gbọ́ ẹ wá ní láti máa ní ẹ̀ ń túnẹ̀ èmi náà mọ̀ tí ra tèmi but kọ́lọ̀ ń jẹ́ kí ní 35,000 màá ní kọ́ bá mi rà so that àlè ní káwọn ọmọ mi kọ́ wá ṣe display but mo ní feeling pé wọ́n ti gbà kan because mọ́mí wa kan lamẹ́ríkà wọ́n ti send pé kọ́ rà wọ́n ti rà á so ọmọ rẹ̀ ti pè mí kọ̀sọ́ náà lọ kọ̀lẹ́tẹ̀ láàárọ̀ ẹ̀ so bí ẹ̀ ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn but àwọn kan wá bèèrè pé Mr. Koiki but ṣé ìjọ kan la máa fi gbọ́ rédíò yìí ni ta fẹ́ rà ní èyí tó pọ̀ tó yìí ẹ jẹ́ n ṣàlàyé fún yín Saturday and Sunday nìkan ni live transmission máa wá sórí ẹ̀ o ó ní FM tẹ́lẹ̀ fi gbọ́ ti Nàìjíríà But I pray that as Yoruba people, that we are very thinkable people, I need brain power. I lè mọ̀ bá ṣe máa break in, or kì máa sọ break in, bá ṣe máa ṣe débi pé later náà I lè máa ṣe tó máa jáde ní FM. Ìdí tí kò ṣe lè jáde ní FM òun ni pé mo kíyà mi Abíóyè Ọmọtúnbí mo ti rí yín, mo ti fẹ́ parí ètò kí n má lọ fojú pa yín rẹ́, Ọlọ́run ní fojú pa yín rẹ́. Ẹ sọ pé ní ọmọ tó fine bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn. Àwọn ọkùnrin mo kàn mọ̀ pé àwọn boys gan ti máa wọ ọmọ yẹn tẹ́ lọ jù sórí social media wá ti máa disturb yín o. Ọlọ́run ló ní kémi ti níyàwó. Ọmọ yìí fine gan, aṣọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé o, lágbára Ọlọ́run. Ọmọ yìí fine gan. So ẹ má bínú pé mo tún divert díẹ̀. Pé Koiki wo ló tún gbé wá báyìí, ọkùnrin rẹ̀ ń gbọ́ obìnrin fine. A máa lọ sórí page yẹn nísìn. Ẹ jẹ́ àdẹ̀ ní kẹ́ take picture yẹn down. But aṣọ ọ̀pọ̀lọpọ̀ ọdún láyé. Anyway, the radio transistor tá à ń sọ̀rọ̀ yìí is 35,000 naira. Koiki kí ló dé tó ṣe wọ́n? Ẹ lọ bèrè lọ Tinubu, dọ́là ti ṣe kí ni, ó ti lọ sókè. Sister mi Yorùbá wuyì, èló ni tap láti America, ẹ bá fi sórí comment section kí polówó. Even though pé tí fún mi ní discount mi. Tap èló ni láàárọ̀ yìí. America làwọn wà. Ní UK 1,000 agent tá a máa ń lò 1,500 naira to a pound lówó láàárọ̀ yìí. So ìdí tí owó yẹn ṣe lọ sókè tẹ́lẹ̀ 20,000 lọ́nà máa tà, but mo kí Adékúnlé plenty, mo kí gbogbo èèyàn wa, a máa parí ètò láìpẹ́ bọ̀, a máa play ti Simon Ekpa, ibẹ̀ ló kù sí. Tí bá padà wá àtúbẹ̀ lórí making of Nigeria. Ìyẹn mo fi máa sọ kódà tó bá máa fi di láti January mo máa ṣe ní episode 1, episode 2, episode 3 títí tí máa fi wà satisfied, because brother wa kan lórí Koiki tí sọ̀rọ̀ lórí colonialism tó ń pọ̀ jù, gbogbo program tẹ́ ń ṣe sọ̀rọ̀ lé lórí, so àwa máa fi ṣiṣẹ́ ṣe láti January lágbọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Okay, ṣé 1,200 ṣé fún pounds ni ẹ? No, 1,500 ni o lọ́dọ̀ tiwa o, is 1,500 naira to a pound. So tó bá ní 10 pound èló ni ẹ máa jẹ. So ìdí tówó yẹn ṣe lọ sókè fún ti rédíò yẹn nìyẹn. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní America is 35 pounds, ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wà ní US $35. Ẹ lè sọ sanwó sí àkáǹtì Koiki ẹ gbọ́ mi o. Wọ́n ti ní account, because àwọn tó ṣe rédíò yẹn tó fi délé, it has cost them a lot of money to produce it. Okay, dollar is 1,200. Wow. Ó ti surpass 1,000. Hey, go go. So in euro as well, I think it's about either. I think I did. So, but Tebati reach out Simba for any detail. Yeah, pounds is 30 pounds. It might be not 35. Come on, even work commission. Dollar is $30. Euro is 30 euro. Yeah, 30 lo bossy. So ewalera for family. Now, not about the radio pé ó níná nǹkan kan ìyẹn àmọ́ nìyẹn lọ́jọ́ iwájú náà tí kò ní pẹ́ mọ́, as long as ẹni ẹ bá sì ní rédíò yẹn tó bá wà pé a tún lọ ní another radio, ẹ má ní ẹ ṣá rédíò méjì la máa ní ni, mo sọ fún ìlànà Yínká Ayéfẹ́lẹ́ ní rédíò, Oríyọmí Hamzat ní rédíò, so many radio can be happening. Tẹ́lẹ̀ bá wá sọ pé Koiki yìí tẹ́ ṣe yẹn like ọmọ mo bẹ̀ yín, ẹ̀yin náà jókòó pẹ̀lú àwọn team kan, ẹ̀yin wá bá wa ṣètò ní FM, ẹ wá fún wa ní frequency, èmi á bá yín polówó ẹ̀. Àwọn ọmọ Yorùbá tó ti wá ra transistor radio yẹn wá máa wá gbọ́ tọ̀tọ̀ tí yín náà lórí FM, because in terms of fame ní 2 years ago ni pé the FM one can also be detected or whatever by the NBC. NBC ò dẹ̀ ní fún wa ní license pé ká ṣètò ní frequency FM, but the satellite wọ́n mú afẹ́fẹ́ àbátẹ́gùn lọ sọ ni, tó bá fẹ́ mu kó máa lọ mú yẹn, I won't say more than that. Ìyẹn nìyẹn ṣe yàtọ̀, ìyẹn wá through satellite ni. Gbogbo àdá dẹ̀ mọ̀ pé phone tí mo gbé dání eléyìí kan ló ń pè ní Turaya, kò ṣe satellite, it's just a normal phone, but àwọn kan Turaya ló ń lò, àwọn ọmọ Nàìjíríà kan round Davido ní sin satellite phone ló wọ́n máa lò because onífẹ́ kọ́ hack òun. Ẹni tó bá dẹ̀ lo satellite phone, as long as tó bá wà lábẹ́ anywhere àgbáyé, nítorí ṣe ń pè ní satellite, ó máa ń lọ, I don't know, I'm sure it's what it means, ó máa ń lọ through orbit ni, a máa lọ through orbit. Òun ni Elon Musk ń ṣe túpọ̀ kọ́lọ̀ ń jẹ́ kí a lè gbá ọmọ Yorùbá kan tó máa sọ pé Koiki bí i another 3 years àwa náà máa shoot satellite wa lọ sókè. Mo kẹ́ ẹ̀ bí Yẹmí TV àti fẹ́ parí ètò yìí, ó kù 4 minutes, mo lè need 1 minute láti fi play Simon Ekpa. So bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn lọ́rọ̀ ti rédíò yẹn. Ẹ̀yin tẹ́ wá wà nílé tẹ́ bá lè afford ẹ̀, ẹ ṣe download the apps. Ìyẹn máa fún yín ní small megabyte. Mo tẹ̀ kí àwọn tó wà lórí Mixlr látẹ̀ nǹkan ṣáà rẹ̀ tí ẹ parí ètò. Mo kí Ògúnmọ́lá onìkan náà ló ń wò wá láàárọ̀, ló ń gbọ́ wá láàárọ̀. So bó ṣe jẹ́ nìyẹn. So if you are not too sure about anything on the radio, ẹ má sanwó sí àkáǹtì Koiki o. Wọ́n ní àkáǹtì tó mú síta o, tó fi ń gba owó rédíò yẹn o. Owó rédíò tó fi rà ní o, kò ń ṣe pé ẹ̀ ń dáwó rédíò, àti ní kẹ́ dáwó rédíò kankan. Torí 2 years ago, ẹ borúkọ olú ẹ̀jẹ̀ tán. Mo lè dúpẹ́ pé the project finally came. More things would have still happened and more things will still happen. Gbogbo ẹ̀kọ́ la máa sọ lórí social media. Transistor radio tẹ́ ẹ ṣe ń rí, it was part of the design the 2 years ago nígbà tí Dr. Kuka wá bá mi ní ọ̀dọ̀ Ìgbòho. We sat down, mo sì ní chat yẹn, gbogbo tọ́nà máa ṣe, wọ́n ṣàlàyé fún mi in details, but ọmọ Yorùbá, ẹ ti kó wo rédíò jẹ́ o. Gbogbo wọn náà ní sìn, wọ́n ti sá kúrò ní Yorùbá nation, àdúpẹ́ fọ́lọ́ pàwọ́ àṣìwà níbẹ̀. Ó yá, Samonepa, kí ló ṣẹlẹ̀? Gbóhùn sókè, máa jẹ́ kó gbóná ní South East, kí Jagaba lè ṣe kí ni, ká lè kó yín lọ sí Qatar, kórí Qatar ló máa negotiate ọ̀rọ̀ Biafra àti Nàìjíríà. Gbóhùn sókè, Samonepa.
They have been having meeting, how to approach Samonepa, how to negotiate with Samonepa. I am saying it openly this evening on this space. I am not open for negotiation.
Thank you.
And no Biafra person serving under Biafra government is open for negotiation. Our talk with them, we start by pulling the military out of Biafra street.
That's it.
Our talk with them, we start when we see Mazi Nnamdi Kanu walking freely out of the DSS dungeon.
That's it.
That is the term and condition of negotiation.
Jengbo.
So nobody serving under this government that our prime minister
Jengbo.
is allowed to discuss anything with anybody representing Nigeria.
Okay.
There is no room for negotiation. There is no room for discussion. There is no room to discuss anything. Our discussion is very, very clear. The negotiation, the term and condition for negotiation start by withdrawing the Nigerian military, start by seeing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu walking freely from DSS dungeon. Then we are open for negotiation.
Thank you so much.
Apart from that, there is no negotiation.
That is Mazi Prime Minister Simon Ekpa for the Biafra government in exile. May God bless Yoruba nation. May God bless Yoruba territory. May God bless Biafra. May God bless every one of us. And on that note, I take a bow. I'll be back later. I don't give a time. Just make sure you keep to that notification bell so that you'll be able to get to know when we are back on air. Moki bubu sisters, my brothers, me teba wo. Moki bubu media as well. Sister me abioye. Thanks so much. Yoruba we eshegoni ibiyemi must be. Yoruba and bubu mo Yoruba pata. Orúkọ mi ni Olayomi Koiki. Tí gbogbo yín pè ní Koiki Media. Èmi ni last man standing. Bye for now.